Becoming Fearless.
Hey, what's going on? It's your man, Frank Castle, Sorcerer Supreme from FearLess on truthfrequencyradio.com. Today, we're bringing back the I Am, We Are Fearless podcast. And I really want to start bringing out the Fearless family members out of the Fearless TFR group on Facebook. We've been working together for such a long time, and I just see beautiful flowers blossoming. So today I'm joined by Loreen Jennings, Eye to Eye, Heart to Heart podcast on YouTube. That's Eye to Eye, Heart to Heart. And she has a co-host, Holly Lynn, who will join us on another show because Holly's awesome. We work together at IamWeAreFearless.com. She's a great artist. And Loreen, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I had one of those weeks where I was scratching my head quite a bit.
It's been rough.
Things were going on that I had to deal with that I never dealt with before, and I'm proud of myself. I didn't lose it.
So let me ask you a question. How long have you been, let's say, raising your consciousness, and then you're here going, I can't even believe this is happening? Like, when did this whole thing start for you? Let's start at the beginning.
Well, interesting, because a lot of it was when I was a lot younger. I was still living at home, and I knew there was something wrong. I knew there was something wrong with my parents. I knew there was something wrong with the people around me. I knew there was something wrong with the schools. I was aware then. Then as I grew up, 13, I think I was 13, I started smoking pot, and I was getting a lot out of that because it was freeing me from a lot of the childhood things you had to deal with, right? And then through going through school and stuff, it was a really bad experience for me. I ended up quitting at 16. I didn't want to. I didn't really have a choice. People were threatening me. And back then, those things, you didn't hear much about bullying. I was bullied all the way through school. I stuck to my guns, though.
That myself growing up here in the Bronx.
It makes you strong.
Oh, yeah, I think it does. So, but sometimes it's really unruly and just absolutely out of control.
Yeah, at the time you wonder why. I cried a lot. And I never had, I never really hung around with anybody. Grade 10, I think I had a few friends that I used to hang around with. We were pot buddies. But when I did quit, I was in a car accident with my sister. It wasn't a bad one, but we ended up getting some money from it. And I put myself through hairdressing school. So I was 16, going on 17. Went back to school for hairdressing. And then I had some tragedies happen in my life that, again, put me back into that same spot of, things pass and you start living your life and you don't really think about, you're aware, but you're not. I was more aware when I was younger than I was after I got married. And I lost 2 brothers to suicide. That kicked me into exactly this track that I'm on right now, because I wanted answers. I didn't know if I was ever going to find answers, but I wanted them. I understand now. I did find those answers. I understand now.
You had confirmation.
I had confirmation in many ways. It took a long time, though. It was something that, even for myself, I needed to heal. And after those things happened, I started reading books. I don't know if you've ever heard of John Bradshaw.
No.
Okay, so he basically lived the same type of life I did. Both my parents were alcoholics, so I dealt with a lot. And it was not only was it the drinking and the messes they created, but it was the fear of what's going to happen tonight. It was never a comfortable day there, right? It was always fighting. There was guns involved. There was all kinds of stuff like that. I started reading John Bradshaw after my second brother passed. That was in 87. My daughter had just turned a year old, and my first brother passed a year before that. So it was bam, bam. And he lived the same type of lifestyle. So I connected with him. I got a lot of that book. And I went to Suzanne Somers. Well, Suzanne Somers came out with a book too. This is when they were just starting to come out with books like this, where people were telling their stories.
Right.
And she also lived in an alcoholic home. I connected with her. And then my husband at the time was very upset with me that I was going to Alcoholics and adult children of alcoholics for meetings. So I tried anything that was out there available to me, I tried. I found that life just kind of gave me answers along the way because I never forgot. I always knew I had to fix what was wrong inside of me because of the way I grew up. Well, what kind of shit was I carrying around that was affecting people around me?
Right. Okay, I totally understand.
So that type of stuff, and I have never been off the path. It's just gotten deeper and better.
Right. So you carved your way through
the
high
did.
grass. Right.
I did.
A lot of
Through
us
divorce. I had a divorce because I couldn't live with that. He was an alcoholic. So I married my dad in a sense, right? I was 19. Don't ever get married at 19.
You don't even know anything at 19. I don't remember 19 at all. I was playing lacrosse. All I knew was running around, beating people up, smoking weed, getting.
But I know why I did. I did, and my sisters. There was July wedding, August wedding, and September wedding. Bam, bam, bam. We all wanted to get the fuck out.
Well,
that's
the
what we did.
frequency's rough.
Yeah.
You know, and the one carving the path is usually the one transmuting for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and I found that out too just recently, that I was doing that for my family.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
The black sheep of the family, right? Because we're the odd one. Whatever it is we're doing is just weird to everyone else. But meanwhile, that's the person that's come from outside of the soul family.
Yeah.
Right? Like they come in and they help that family, and that is their family. But then their soul family would be in like groups like FearLess. So we'd find each other through random routes because we're all carving these paths.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just high grass. And
yeah,
I'm thinking back. I had until 2014, I had nothing except like paranormal stories. I thought I was a weirdo because that had happened a few times, just to find out that's not a good name for it. The paranormal. They're not ghosts and stuff. I had no knowledge except the basic conspiracies. I had some rebel truth agenda against the government with some music, you know, fighting the system for 20 years that way, telling everybody just stick your middle fingers up and go nuts. And eventually they'll listen, just to find out when I did unlock in 2014, when I look back, all of it had to do with exactly what we're going to talk about here today. 100% of it was clearing that path with no knowledge I was even doing it, you know, and then we find ourselves here today. Now,
yeah, it's funny how you don't realize you don't have knowledge of it, but you don't even realize what's happening. You don't even realize you're changing, you're growing, you're learning, but that feeling inside that doesn't go away. It's almost like you're not getting fed enough.
Yes. The information is food.
Yeah.
Right. And
that's why I sometimes when you're post a show, I say soul food. It's fucking soul food.
Yes, it is. And it's refreshing and it's enjoying. And then I find myself every once in a while, I'll check out a UFO video to see what's going on. And I'm just not feeling it anymore. Like for whatever reason. And I don't resonate with it. So it's like McDonald's to me.
Yeah.
You can eat at McDonald's, or you can make yourself a meal where you know the food comes from and it's going to be really good.
Exactly.
You know, and there's the after effects are going to be health instead of demise.
Exactly.
For your DNA. Yeah. So one of the things I've learned is that light is actually it's just information.
Yep.
Right? And and I'm sure you're like this, do you go sit out in the sun and just.
Oh, I'm a sun baby for sure.
And some people can see this, some people sense it, you're being fed.
Yep.
We're like plants with emotions, right?
Yep.
And it's interesting because it's only information. This whole place is light. and
Yep.
sound, and all that is an information frequency.
Yep.
And we
And
are.
can you imagine who we would be now if we grew up knowing that?
I see. This is where Paul and I had this talk the other day. I don't know if that would have been a good idea. Yes, it would have been far advanced, but waiting 20 years to get here, 30 years to get here, I might be in jail. Or I might be in the woods somewhere, like just staying away from everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, but at the same time, if you think about it, if you were taught these things as an infant, as a child, as in school, if this is what our schools were, we wouldn't have gone. I don't think we would have had gone to the negative path, because you would be taught. There's countries that still do this. Look at how the indigenous raise their children. Their children grow up on their verbal stories of their ancestors. Those children had something to live for. Those children didn't have anything to fight for because they knew things.
Yeah, there's something to the voice of a mature human being that has the wisdom and experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that comes through the frequency when they speak,
mm-hmm.
and they tell the story correctly, or whatever their version of it is, whether it's as long as it resonates. The kids would rather listen to that. See, they don't know better today. I mean, you and I use payphones, right? There was no internet, right? And then beepers came out. We were like, wow, this is magic. Then regular cell phones, then they just advanced to what they are now.
Yeah.
And now, look, we're in the future. You and I are right here on the Star Trek screen. So we've been growing the whole time. It's been happening the whole time.
Yeah.
As we gain this ultimate awareness of our space around us, you realize it's us that is catching up. It's always going on. It's never not been. The awareness of the flesh suit that we wear.
Yeah.
And it has us stuck in it like a 3%. I'm curious, how did you find the Fearless family? Because you've been
I found you guys. Well, I've been listening to Chris and Cherie for a long time. Alex Jones days for me.
Okay.
So that's where I found Chris. And then I remember when he hooked up with Cherie. And then
so you've been around for a while with that. Yeah. Okay.
And then I always loved their information. That was a really, really good stuff for me at the time. It's still, it's even better now.
Now it's fantastic.
Oh, it is. It's amazing stuff. Like, in the 4 hours, I'm like, it's not long enough.
Yeah, right.
But I want to pig out on it. And then when this whole thing came up with Egypt, and I think I was on your YouTube. Because I remember something with you and them a while back. I think I've been on your YouTube for a long time. But when I found out that they were going to Egypt, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing stuff, right? I can't miss it. I got to keep looking. Is there any updates? And I followed all their updates. And then I'm like, where the hell's the meditations? Who's holding the meditations? And then I found out it was the FearLess group, and I looked at it, and I'm like, FearLess group? Oh my God, this looks awesome. So I'm looking through it, and I see you got to answer a question, and I'm like, question? What kind of question? And then I kind of got this thing inside of me, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer a question because I don't know if I know enough to do that. And I was so upset that I couldn't be involved in the meditation. And then finally I answered the fucking question, and the rest is history.
It's a pretty simple question, right? But it makes you think.
Was. I mean, I was just like, what do you mean? Why do I want to be here? I'm looking for the meditations and I'm missing everything. Let me in.
Yeah, that technically that would work. That's all you have to put.
Yeah.
I do that just so I could filter out bots and keep it private.
And it's perfect.
Coming in and out.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to join us, we do meditations and talks and we literally have enough information there. If Ascension is your thing and that's what you call it, or any version of that, whatever it is in your universe, we have enough for 8 times over.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely out of control. It's FearLess TFR Facebook group. You go in, you answer the question, and admin will let you in, and then you can join the family. So we were running meditations for Chris and Cherie as they were entering different spots on the grid in Egypt, activating sites as they went to have the ceremony in the main pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And as all these other things were happening around them, their path, as long as they stayed on it, stayed clear. And the meditations were to keep, the eye on them, to keep them protected, safe, sacred space, because we know that there is no distance and there is no, like, space, time doesn't matter. It's always just now. So if we need them now, we just say now and it goes, right? So we made these meditations and we had so many people, different shaman coming out of the woodwork, starting to work with us, running their own versions of the meditations and teaching us. And you were one of them. This is what I was getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people are afraid of rituals. When they hear the word ritual, they think right away black magic, right? Now, you've run rituals for the Fearless group, and you've come out on your own just after seeing what we've done. And, I have no playbook for this. I do it just off the cuff. And this is how I put it down. I don't really write too much. And then you came up and started showing people after seeing Jimmy and myself, and that rituals are a really good thing.
Yes.
Everyone is doing rituals all day long, and they don't realize it from brushing their
Yes.
teeth to
Exactly.
certain mantras. They don't even realize the wording in our language.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking the same thing over and over and over again, and they're the creator of their universe, so they're making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What made you come out and say it is now time for me to, like, unload on my information?
I fell in love.
Oh, yeah.
I
Ching.
did. I fell in love. The nights that you were doing them, like, every night, my life stopped just so I could be there. And honestly, God, I had the most beautiful experiences through them. There was a couple times that I was on the deck. I'm in the kitchen living room right now, but there's a patio door out in front of me. And I was dancing out there with the rituals. And I wasn't laying in bed and meditating. I was dancing my ass off. And it was just it just made me feel so good. It just gave me something that it pulled shit out of me. That I knew was there, but I was afraid to show.
And during the rituals, just so people get an idea, we turned it into something fun and interesting and very engaging. So it's meditation music, directed specifically with intent. So you choose your intention for the evening, what you feel you need, or the group consensus, like protect the animals or protect Chris and Cherie while they're in. And then we play music, we breathe, we have a little bit of a chat and a conversation. We get everybody's feelings to go up. It doesn't require money. It only requires your time, your effort, and your own energy, and how much you're willing to put out. We learn how to ground, right? And then from there, it's just whatever it is. Amazing things just started to occur. I mean, I report on them all day. So for me, my gift is to see up and down the frequencies when I concentrate. And I would have these DMT-like or mushroom-like experiences during the meditations. They were so powerful, and I didn't know that was going to happen. But then we all started coming out and presenting that energy for each other, and just like you said, you fell in love. I couldn't think of anything for that month and a half that we were doing that. Like, I was so
was
pumped.
amazing.
Okay, so now, if you can help describe, because I remember you started going live with the meditations, like, when you came out, what was your, like, first we'll do this, then we'll do this, and this is how we're going to do it?
I kind of just went through everything that you did and kind of said, well, I can do this, but do it this way. Just put my own spin on it until I got used to it. Because the first one I was quite nervous. And I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted it to be powerful. I had big intentions.
Right.
And I threw it in there. And the music part of it, well, Liquid Bloom, I love so much. I mean, I've got them saved on every freaking device in my house.
Yeah.
And I play them, like, I listen to that music constantly when I'm driving somewhere. I mean, it just is so.
There's something to the music having this rhythm where it's not like, oh, we listen to meditation music. It's like you put that on anywhere and
oh,
people
it's
are gonna be like,
oh,
whoa, what's that?
it's, you know what it is? It's sexy, like powerful, all of that.
Your soul with that rhythm.
Yeah.
You hear the animals just at the right
Oh
moment.
yeah. Oh,
right?
that
The
right
voice
there.
just at the right moment.
Yeah. And you know, I've been into Native American stuff for a long, long time. And this brought it all together for me. Really did.
Yeah, it's the good mix. I come from hip hop and I love heavy metal. I can't listen to any of my stuff anymore. Like I know it already. It's like I've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
And then I was begging the universe, please, music, man. Like, all right, Ganesha, music is great. Shiva, okay, I understand the Om Namah Shiva, but I need something to fill me. Like if I go for a walk and boom, one after another, all these fantastic groups. And they've been there for 10, 11, 12 years. And I'm like, really? 37 likes? This was my thing. And then I had the same issue with my group. We've been out for 20 years. And it's like stuff that we were doing 10, 15 years ago is just getting relevant now. And we were at the time, didn't even know what we were doing. So now and people are like, well, you only have 400 people on your heist YouTube page. And I'm like, yeah, but they're dedicated. And there's a whole crap load of others listening. Look at all the posts.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that is. To now it's hyping and ramping up again.
Yeah, because people are getting it.
It's finally
people are fucking getting it.
Yeah.
Music saved my life. Let me put it that way, because I'll tell you what, I've had several really, really dark nights. And there was times that I just didn't want to be here no more. And I was thinking about the easiest way that I didn't have to hurt. I didn't want to feel pain. I just wanted to go. If it wasn't for music and the words, I'm really good at. I can put a song on and get messages out of it, like bam, like that. That helped me. And I think I've always done that all my life. That's why music is so important to me. Even a song that people will say, what are you listening to? Did you ever hear the words to this song?
Yeah, some parts of the song will hit notes with
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, there's someone else out there that gets it.
Yes.
Or that you understand it so deeply, you resonate with that one thing, and you're like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, and the message is like, I could never come up with these words or this sentence, but it's perfect for what I'm going through right now, or it's perfect for my healing.
So the synchronicity lines up perfectly through the music for you to hear right at the right moment.
Yes.
We could say, you know, I was having that issue, then I heard this, and now it's not really an issue anymore because I worked it out. Okay. How do you think that information is coming to you? I'm curious. Is that your higher self?
I think.
External Jesus source? Like,
maybe both. But at the same time, I didn't even know about my higher self. And if I would have, I probably would have talked to her, and she probably has been talking to me, or he. But it came from somewhere. But now that you say it, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, whoa, well, that makes sense.
Well, if time doesn't really exist except within a sphere, and we're from outside of the sphere, then, and this is a programmed holographic biological digital reality, then why wouldn't you be programming those notes for yourself to leave breadcrumbs, because you already know how it ends?
Oh my God.
It's that you get free will now, and that's what screws everything up. And then you get distraction after distraction, programming after programming.
Right.
No one ever teaches you stuff, and then we didn't learn it in school.
Right.
And we find out like that we as the creators have been pulling in the negative timelines and the shitty timelines to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then these little things are to get you back on track again.
Yeah.
So when I started this, it started resonating with the synchronicities. I stopped calling it coincidence, because we all say, well, there's no such thing as coincidence. No, if you follow synchronicity to synchronicity, if you see one thing happen that makes you go, well, that's a coincidence, follow it to the next one and don't call it a coincidence. call it a synchronicity, and then go, where's my next one? You don't have to look around like this, but just be aware. It'll come through a song, a movie, someone will ring the telephone, write a text, see something online. And if you follow it to the next one, you start realizing the whole time, all of this has been there for you because you laid this all out for yourself in advance. And the big guy or the big girl is just talking to you, going,
Yeah.
it's right there. It's right there.
Oh, that makes so much sense. But you know, I didn't even think about that while learning about synchronicities for me are crazy. And now this just is another puzzle piece that's just click.
So it's like when you see 1111,
Yes.
444, 5.
Yes.
Yeah, you start seeing the numbers at first. That's
Yes.
you mingling with that higher version. It's like you're on that galactic timer. Bing, bing,
Yes.
bing. Look at me. Look at me. It's like a portal opens at that time and a new thing occurs.
Yes.
It's almost like there's already school in session happening. And are you aware of it? Are you aware that you're in a university?
Yeah.
You know, the universe, that's what's inside you as well. We were talking about this before, that we're learning the aura can be also the wheels within the wheels, right? So you have your aura, and then your universe takes place within that aura. It's your perception and your awareness. And as you go, it gets bigger and bigger and more, but you've never been aware of it, or maybe
Right.
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 You maybe find your twin or your soulmate, and you get together, and the two become one, and now you have one wheel going circular this way, one around this way, and like the Jodie Foster movie,
Yes.
you sat in that boat,
Contact.
starts. Okay, it's like your internal Merkaba goes off, and then you can go into anything as a creator. You could do anything. You could go into any version of yourself, fractals, and a lot of the stuff that we've been doing is fixing our fractals, purging the negativity, but loving yourself at the same time.
Yes.
One will make you feel like complete shit. You have to relate to the biological technology that it's loved, or else it starts to suffer, just like anything else, right?
Exactly.
Because we're in the dualistic place. So both
Exactly.
things have to happen. And you're right, all things can happen. Why wouldn't it be Space Jesus mixed
Yes.
with your higher self? And if you are him and you can do what he can do and we're all connected, then it doesn't matter if it's us, an angel, or your cat. As long as it could be a pineapple.
Yeah.
And we learn
It can.
Yeah, it can. Because we talk about this. If you're on the desert island, or a deserted island, I'm sorry, and then you're living the perfect life for you as a native on the island. You don't know any better. You're just there.
Right.
You're living a fantastic life. I'm convinced that person will have the seat in whatever high frequency, some people call it heaven, or that could be heaven right there for that being. Not that if they knew Space Jesus or not, they're going to go to heaven or hell, because we know that's a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
Anyway. Right. So the guy that's on, when the pineapple shows up, or the coconut, he's got food. And he's like, well, hail the coconut.
Yep.
He's really only hailing nature, which is a part of himself. And then it's like a go in between, back and forth.
Yeah.
When I was under DMT once, I saw my cat Squeak was me. All right. And I was looking at myself back, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, I'm teaching you how to love yourself. It's its own animal, but I'm in there when I need to be for those moments where you can choose. Finish watching your show and be like, get the fuck out of here, cat. Or you could throw yourself on the floor, because you know with a cat you only get like a minute and then it's over. You throw yourself on the floor and the cat rubs you up and down and purrs and does all this stuff, jumps on your head, licks your face, says it's a great day, wants a treat, and then wants to go out. So you choose to experience that. I used to throw myself on the floor because I've always thrown myself in front of something else. So now I'm going to go opposite of what Frank was, to experience what is over there, and then to find that I've been programmed the whole time. I'm being sucked into the TV or the whatever other. It's always nonsense, right?
Yeah.
You always go down rabbit holes with everything, and this whole place is a giant rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right. And
it is.
You choose to go down, learn some stuff, but you got to bring yourself back out of them, and then you start resonating with the different things, and that's where you start making better choices.
Right. Exactly.
Ever since the meditations and the pyramids in Egypt, and have you noticed your awareness becoming way more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's every day. I live this life.
That's what I wanted to
I
do.
cannot not live this life because it has changed me. It has given me so much hope and so much. Look, the people that I've connected with on FearLess are amazing people. And I feel like this is my family. I tried to explain to my daughter, this is when we just first started. When I first joined it's been a year and a little bit for me now. And I tried to explain to her that I think I found my soul tribe. And she looked at me, we were out on the porch, and she looked at me, she's 25. And I started crying. I was in mega tears. And I said to her, Elizabeth, I found it. I found what the fuck I've been looking for. And she broke down and she said, Mom, I'm so happy for you. You know, but honest to God, the feeling, because when you connect and people get what you're saying and you get what they're saying, and you're like, where's this been all my life?
We've been all right here, separated, put into grid points so we can activate during the ultimate heist. That's how I see it.
Yes.
That's why we're so far apart. And now we use the technology to connect just to find out we're on grid points. Like you're exactly where you need to be for this shit to go off.
Everybody is. Yes.
Because if I was next door and Paula was next door and Jim is next door and Josh is next door, we're all huddled into one place. That's what got us in all this trouble to begin with.
Yep.
As we tried every kind of formulaic thing to happen to make it happen, make us break free of the deception and the bullshit, because some of us, we came here specifically for this reason. But to come here, all right, there are walk-ins, and I acknowledge that 100%. But for us, the FearLess family, the beings that consider themselves here before everyone, right? So Earth is alive now. It has a soul, Mother Earth, and we go up. Why? Because we know that deception happens in time, somewhere a little more in time. They come in and put an overlay, and we knew, oh, look, that's what's happening. So really, we made that choice after the overlay occurred, and we watched it going down, and we're like, whoa, 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 what's this? We can't go any further. This has to stop. The machine needs to be fixed. But we couldn't just walk in now and say, hey, look, this was what's going on, because you can't speak inside the human vehicle from experience, not being in the human vehicle multiple lifetimes, and then start to wake up because you understand what it's like to be a human. So we had to go to the very beginning. We had to get here before they got here, making us the original souls here.
Right.
So it was like,
right.
Gaia, and then us. We came out as the caretakers. Then somewhere over here, this happened, a deception, a lockdown, a false matrix placed over the raw consciousness matrix, because that's what it is.
Right.
Regardless, it's like, oh, I believe nature and the matrix is supposed to conspire for you, not against you.
Work with you, yeah.
Right? But we always say, why are you doing this to me? Well, this is your fault, or da-da-da,
Yeah.
That we're spellcasting that.
Yeah.
If we would just, what am I learning from this situation? Do I need to learn anything more? Right? Then things start to change again. And we go, wait a second, did that respond to me? Before I did this, I had no animals around me. Right now, I have little bears laying right in front of me, right in front of the camera on the floor. He's like, and I walk outside, 8 cats will follow me. I'll have to feed 3 squirrels on the way. All the dogs bark when they see me. They're all happy to be like, hey.
Yeah.
And then anyone that's not functioning like that runs from me. The birds react to me. Everyone reacts. And the ones that don't, butterflies every day. I'm in the Bronx. I'm sitting outside. A butterfly will come by as I'm soaking in the sun, giving gratitude to the universe. And I'm like, oh, look, butterfly again. Right? So how many times does it have to happen before your universe is fully changing in front of you? And you say, no, this is not a coincidence. It's a synchronicity. No, this is the way I live. I'm aware. I'm expanding. Like, that's kind of what this turns into.
Right.
Because you go for, all right, so our meditations, I think a word that we should insert in there is intimate. Now,
Ooh.
people mistake that word for, oh, sex. And it's
Well,
not.
yeah. Another program.
Another program. Intimacy is something more. I
Yeah.
realized when we were doing the rituals, I knew this a little bit before it. I had an experience with Shiva, and I realized, I said to him, you're fake? I asked him, you're fake? And he says, in here, I'm just as real as you. So I know he represents something outside the machine, but inside the machine, it's a figure that comes out of the energy, which is out of that color. And yes, he might have had a life somewhere inside. None of that is my problem or my business. It's the energy that comes through. A character pops out as you're accessing the energy. Oh, Shiva, look. Eventually, I was like, Shiva, I want to be just like you, but not you. And he says, okay. So you master the energy and you become like me. And then during one of my ceremonies, I turned blue. A red crystal got in my head. I had the multi-arms, and I was shamaning all gangsta kids that I should have probably never had in here.
Oh.
Right? And I put everyone in their place. One kid screamed, he's blue with a red crystal. He's got the octopus arms. And I was like, 'cause I was doing this in the room, trying to push their energy back. One kid had a demon. Another kid's talking to Native Americans. And the other one's staring at me, screaming at the top of his lungs. I don't know what to call you. I've seen you before in books. And I'm like, no, I've achieved the Shiva.
No
Now,
way.
when I access Shiva, I'm like, Shiva, where are you? There's no response except my higher self is like, you're the master of that energy. Now do what you got to do.
Right.
Oh, so it's like a teacher appears when you're ready to teach you the lesson. So we were doing Kali rituals, Hanuman rituals, and I was intimate with every one of them. So our energies, I turned into pure consciousness and blended in like that DNA strand structure.
Yeah.
And then it just melded with me. And then it was no more character related. Like it became the Horus program. I am a Ra. What does Ra stand for? You're the son of the sun. You come through the sun, and now you're the son of the sun, but you're a sun. You're actually everything that makes up a sun. Physically and spiritually, you come from that route. So you are Ra if you come through that route. Learning all these things, and then people are worried about who's Horus, who's Sekhmet, who's Anubis. I'm like, yes, they are characters in the Matrix.
Right.
With their energies for you to master.
Yep.
So you don't need Anubis to walk you through the underworld or under the chessboard. You walk yourself.
Right.
When you're ready.
Right.
The first time he takes you, they hold you like a baby. Have you noticed that it's really just us?
Yes.
And where we're becoming the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a weird time having that responsibility.
Well, you would, because it's powerful.
Well, look where we both come from. You told a little bit of your story, and there's a lot of tragedy, right? But yet you sitting here smiling with me, and we found your soul family. Okay. We're intimate like that in our group without hooking up and all that stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
And we understand it. And there's compassion there and love and caring without being cult-like and weird.
Exactly.
It's not like uncomfortable. It's like, who needs what? Let's go right now. People want what they're doing to be part of this.
Exactly. And I want to help. I want, like, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has something that can teach somebody else or help somebody else in some way. And I think that all of our experiences is why it's such a loving group, a loving energy in there all the time, because I know when I click that button to go in, I'm going to learn something that day, and I'm going to learn something that I can use, and hopefully everybody else feels the same way about it. But this is where I'm coming from. And there is, I've been through my chart, and I've had a lot of readings by a lot of people, and Solaris and Rod just the other day. I have a natural teacher energy in me. And I think that it's coming out. I'm getting used to that idea now, because when my kids were little, my world was my kids. I didn't really do much other than raise my kids. And I realized how much I've taught them, and they've been telling me how much I've taught them and thanking me for it, because I, for some reason, didn't want them to ever have to feel the way I ever did growing up. I wanted them to have a different experience. You know, some people can grow up in a really nasty and they continue that cycle.
Yeah, they pay
I
that
knew I
shit
needed
forward.
to break that cycle.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, to break the
Yes.
cycles and the loops and the
Yes.
madness. This
Yes.
was supposed to be a place to come to go through massive suffering.
Yes.
We go through that now because we're clearing the path.
Right.
We're like, no more suffering. And the way to non-suffering is to kind of face it head on, understand it, and deal with it. And
Right.
each person deals with their own thing. You want to change the world, you got to change yourself first.
Yes.
Your inside you is a projection. So you will project outward what you are inside.
Right.
When people are like, but I got to change the Federal Reserve and they got to
No, ain't gonna happen.
like, go inside, fix yourself, fix your
Yeah.
home, make sure your dog isn't nuts when you're sitting there talking about the Federal Reserve, because your dog's barking and you're like, he's shitting all over the house, he's pissing all. Well, you're screaming, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
drop that down a notch. You keep the awareness and the understanding and the
Mhm.
determination, and you learn how to understand it more and better,
You do.
better perspectives. You learn
You
how
do.
to teach it better than the ones that taught before you, and you get deeper
Right.
and more gnosis points, and you do it better than, like, you know, I learned a lot right up front from Alex Jones. People make fun of him and everything. I knew nothing. So when I heard him,
I did too.
it shook me to my core.
I
And
did too.
after 2 years, I couldn't listen to him ever again.
Yeah.
I picked him up here and there, Joe Rogan and this and that, but
Mhm.
I'm like, I wouldn't have known nothing about chemtrails until that guy screamed, look up, and, and I was a federal inspector for the
Oh,
USDA.
Yeah.
It shook me to my core when I was reading, we had a handbook that was given to us, and in case of an emergency, UFO crash was in the book, right?
Really?
Yeah, I gave the book to, I used to do a lot of truth shows,
Yeah.
like live performances with my group, Heist Click, and I gave, God, I can't remember the guys, but there's a whole bunch of people attached to it, including Adam Kokesh and them, the book, and we went on stage and we were showing. There's even coloring book. There's like a coloring section. If a UFO was to crash land, USDA biological experts become deputized and have to go because
No
they're
kidding.
biologicals, and you're the guy dealing with organics all day, right? So I'm like, wait, what? And then the fire department. So I go, what do you mean? And then the fire department, they were in there teaching the class. They're like, no, look, this is pretty plain and simple, Frank. We're just going to go over it and go to the next thing. And I'm like, no. I got a book here. This book is boring as shit. These couple of pages, very interesting.
Mhm.
Let's go over it again, to the point where they asked me to leave. They asked me to walk out of the room during it.
Sure, you're asking too many questions.
Well, I took a bunch of the books. I stole them out of the room. I don't care. I don't work with them anymore. And I gave them out to people. And I'm like, here, you guys
I would
go
have too.
and push the information forward because it's in the books. See, that was like
Yeah.
the biggest thing to me. I was like, oh, UFOs, chemtrails, they're blocking the sky. I had no idea this was a matrix.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Like,
neither until I think Chris and Shree brought it up.
the movie is very good at explaining a lot of things.
Mhm.
It's done in a fantastic way to really make it wow. But when you go under, like we were talking about this before, I see grids, like the grid
Yeah.
lines, which Dolores Cannon used to talk about, the holodecks, right? So we're living basically in a giant matrix. So on one layer, it's an unrendered object that just has the grid lines around it. It's in the torus and it's rotating and it's flipping in on itself.
Mhm.
So you go in there and then you get your own perspective and your overlays and programs written on you, and you see it from whatever way you see it at. And as we start waking up from this, there's many holy shit moments. Like, it goes, I mean, have you ever done any of the plant medicines? I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay, good.
My next one's ayahuasca.
Okay, excellent. What psychedelics have you tried?
I'm so excited. But I did mescaline when I was 13, 14,
Right.
15 up to 20. I did acid. I did mushrooms from out west.
See, I did
No.
all that shit growing up, and I went to Pink Floyd. I seen all the big shows. I was on stage. I did crazy shit on mescaline. Only 2 or 3 times did I have moments like, I had a clown chasing me in Amsterdam. So fucking intense. I caught it and realized they were like, "You're the clown," and I went, "Me? Where the fuck did the clown?" I had him in my hand, and then it was me. And then they're like, see, if you keep thinking there's a clown to chase, you're going to be the clown and chase the clown. So I picked up that pretty quick. And then I had telepathy once, and I lost my fucking mind. Every single person I tried to talk to around me, and I was trapped in a car with 5 gangster kids, they were all afraid of me. So one kid built up a wall of bricks, and he pulled one out and was looking, and he's like, don't you follow me. And he would put it back.
Wow.
My crazy friend who was driving the car kept going, I could hear you. I just don't want to be bothered with this shit. We're in Earth. So in Earth, I'm going to just punch and kick and touch every fucking thing I can. And he was just ranting. So I was like, I don't want to be around that. And the kid next to me was so scared. He was just touching my shoulder, and he was going, and I'm going,
my God.
hey, what's wrong with you, bro? Right? And then he'd freak out into a ball. And then my producer was on the far side. He looked over at me, and he would shake his head like he's teaching me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he didn't say that for 2 hours. And he kept doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you know what I'm doing. And I'm like, actually, I fucking see it. And it's freaking me out. Every other time was just these colors and lights and shit. And like the voice, right? I had more supernatural shit happen off of them. And then when I smoked DMT with Chris, when he shamaned me, instantly it broke me open. I saw the grids, the portals, the beings. And I was like, what the fuck?
I saw the grids from the shrooms that I got from Jimmy. I saw the grids. I saw the eyes. And there was a lot. I keep going into nature. Every time I get into a really deep one, I'm in the middle of nature all the time, and it's fucking amazingly beautiful.
Yes. So it brought me to nature. I saw that nature was the only thing in the grid. All right. I was able to see inside the torus of the planet, outside of my own aura, what's raw organic consciousness, as everyone likes to put it, right? So the organics, and then I could see the inorganic as well. And it just jumped out at me, and I knew at that moment, if this is mother and we're all one, everything should be symbiotically working with me and me with it, which cleaned up my house, cleaned up every room in this house. We have cats all over. You wouldn't even know we had one. The outside is beautiful. Everyone comes. When they come here, it's like a safe, sacred space. To find out very early when we moved here, we were on top of a ley line.
Oh.
On a ley line. That we have the subway right under the house.
Well, that makes sense, huh?
And the hub is right here. So you have like 4 tracks combining to one that go in everywhere you need to go.
Yeah.
And we're right on the main line coming out that goes up north. And and then comes back into the Bronx from Westchester. And I'm like, wow, the energy is really intense here. I would eat mushrooms and then dip my hand when I'd start going. I would stay in my body and I would touch the ground, and it was dipping my hand in this giant bars of energy traveling around the world.
Wow.
So you could see the grid.
Yeah.
And I would dip my hand in it and go, what am I supposed to do, mother? Tell me. Like, I got very weird. Mother, what am I supposed to do? People are like, what's wrong with you? And then I'd get the response. You got to clean up yourself. You got to do certain things. You got to keep cat shit off the lawn. You got to, and you feed the birds. They'll eat the mosquitoes. Feed the possum. The possum will eat the ticks. On it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I come outside. I have skunk, possum, birds, bluebirds, cardinals. I mean, the yard's not that big. It's a 20 by 10 space.
Oh my God.
Just with a patch of grass. It's the Bronx, you know. And they're all here. We even had a tortoise once that came out. It had a big horn on its nose. I'm like, how did this giant monster get into our yard?
Oh my God.
Right? They all come. And they're like, they're coming because the creator's taking care of the space, treating it correctly. So you reflect your insides out. So then they ask me, how do you feel? And I go, I feel like $1 million. I'm like, millions and billions of dollars. You can't even put a number on it. I've never felt this way. Matter of fact, the last time I felt like this, I was 7.
Wow.
For the bullies.
Wow. Right.
When the magic was real, when a lightsaber ignited in my mind, but I was holding the empty roll of, dish towels, that little cardboard roll, I'd hold that and go, my lightsaber, and it looked real to me. Just to find out now we have light swords. Our bodies emit light. Yeah. Interesting.
We are. The pillar of light. I just read a whole chapter on the pillar of light. You should visualize a pillar of light through your body that has energy going both ways when you're trying to ground or meditate. You imagine that you're that pillar. It's supposed to balance your hemispheres and your energies, supposed to balance it. Actually, Magenta Pixie. I read it in here, and I asked Solaris about this book about her, and she said yes. She trusts her information. I'm getting a lot out of those books.
What's the name of that book and the author?
Well, this is the Divine Architecture and the Starseed Template, Magenta Pixie, and then this is Masters of the Matrix, Magenta Pixie.
Nice.
And then I've got one on my pad because when I ordered it, didn't realize that it went to my reading pad, but I just finished it. Amazing information. Chakras, everything is in there.
Yeah, people like to poo-poo on the chakras, and I'm like, if you're in a digital, biological, holographic matrix, it's not really a simulation. Your chakras are just the points of you unrendered where the energy centers have to be to hold you in the digital construct.
Yep.
Your chakras eventually fall away, but the ones that fall away are the false light matrix chakras, the one that they hammer in you to keep you here, to keep you in the that soul loop. So when you're recycling, you get recycled back in. Exactly. I've removed them and then realized that what I was removing was this like third part. There was like the physical body, the etheric metal that would hold the spirit piece in place, right? So I removed the metal part, and they said, "Whoa, you're going to step on your brake at the red light and fly out of your body without that," right? Let them fall off naturally, as if it was a scab forming, and then it'll fall off. But that hole, that rendering space, is still there. So you're still doing all of that without the false light characters being attached to it. So your chakras just fall away, and then those points of light are just giant balls of light.
Right.
When I was attacked recently, when I got them, I made it stop. They were using a frequency weapon, and it worked for like an hour. And I thought I was dying. I tell the story ad nauseum. I got knocked out of my body and jumped back in. And once I saw what was going on, I saw them doing it, and I was in the negative grid. I stood up in my space, because they tell you to stand in your safe, sacred space, ground to earth, and then you hit the command key. What you want to do right now? Well, I want this shit to stop. So no more. Boom. When I put my hands out, the energy was the red energy of love that you're supposed to come pouring out of you, out of your chest, your heart space. It came out of every chakra point spot, from every point of that digital overlay. It just came out at once like a hard red light, and it just wiped everything back, and everything reflected back. And I said, wow, I thought it was going to come out of my heart or my forehead like a beam of light or something. No, it came out of every port. Entrance and exit just went whoomp. Everything stopped. Everyone that was there trying to harm me was running. And I was like, hey, where are you going? Now you don't want to play? And Paula made the thing. She said, yo, you're all right. You were just having like this seizure thing happen for an hour. And I said, yeah, I'm fine. I just don't want them to suicide me like that. A long story short, so because people could always hear that other story somewhere else. You can stand in your space, and you could make all the shit stop happening.
Yeah.
You can change the entire thing. You could bring the timelines in that you want. You can, when they say you can do anything you set your mind to, in this time and space right now, you can, as a creator being. It's time to unleash and do that.
Yep.
Have you had because I know we just had the full moon the other night. Have you had like heavy purging?
Yeah.
Like, what's a purge to you? What is that to you?
A purge to me sometimes is like, I just get this feeling in my body, and I have to think about, what is this? It's making me sick to my stomach. And I haven't eaten nothing. I haven't really drank anything I shouldn't have. And I get really tired really quick, and I gotta lay down. And then I also get the, of course, the toilet thing. Like I do get that.
you did the first one of your no, two or three ago when you came on to do the meditations. I think it was the second one you did. Oh, after that was done, I mean, I had like a surge of energy running through my body through that whole thing. After that was done, I told Holly, I said I purged all night after that.
That's what
and
happened.
It was both ends.
Yeah, I go through this.
So I do get it. Weird, but yeah.
No, well, I'm sure, because I want, when other people hear us, I want them to know, like, everyone's going through it one way or another, and it's going to come out one way or another because it needs to come out, because this is why we're here right now. Why else would you be here? Well, you still want the hamburger stained belly shirt, you know, with the hole in it, or you're going to clean yourself up and get up now and say, you know what, I'm just not cool with this any longer. I'm ready to make things happen for myself.
Yes.
You know, don't wait and say, I'll believe it when I see it. Say, I'm ready to see the magic universe show it to me.
Right.
Because I'm ready.
Right.
And then that.
So I heard that the other day, I got some information that, you know, because I do that too. Every day I'm like, okay, I'm ready for whatever, right? I'm ready. Just bring it on so I can get rid of it if that's what I have to do, or learn it, whatever I have to do. So they're saying that use the word choose. I choose to change my reality today, or this moment, or this hour, or I choose to whatever, you fill in the blank. And I'm finding that, Toby, get over here. He is my little dog. He's a Chaipu, so he's really little. And he's taunting the big dog next door that has pit bull in him.
Oh, nice.
It's like he can handle it. It's kind of how I feel sometimes. I'm really tiny, but I'll tell you what.
Sometimes the biggest thing
Kaboom.
Those packages, you know?
Yeah, they do.
To that statement.
Yeah, so I'm finding that the choose word is important, because they said if you don't use the choose and you say I want or I would like to have, it's almost like it sends it away, or you have to wait.
For a moment that is undisclosed. Okay, I just went through this weekend. This is one of the things I unlocked. You're to say, I am abundance now, or I choose to be abundance now. Why do you use now? Because it's always now, it's never then.
Right.
Because if you say anything and mix those words, because it is spellcasting and our language isn't the best, but it is great if you know how to use it. You bring it right to you in that moment, in the now.
Right. Magic.
You know, but you're the magic. See, that's
magic.
When you start seeing things bending to you, you get that feeling, but
it's happening more and more all the time. So I know that shit's working. Mm-hmm. And I never, this kind of power I never had before, this group, before I joined this thing. And I know that it's fucking working. That's all I can say. I know it's fucking working. It's changed my life.
And we're becoming like batteries that are hypercharged, that you don't need to be vampiric to do anything. You ground to your earth, to your mother. You reach up to whatever the frequency, because you're not reaching up to the sky, even though you are reaching up to the sky. I'm reaching up to the sky, but you're not looking up there thinking it's up there, it's out there. You say to your highest fingertip point, because that's where you are the whole thing. So you're just like, give me the highest frequency all the way to source, whatever that is in this matrix, and higher than that, because I am that pillar of light in the darkness.
Yes.
You bring it into yourself, and that energy, your every energy, you can start working with the direct energy that you want. So if you want abundance, I choose to be abundant now.
Yes.
Pull it in. That's how I do it. So because we need a visualization.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of us use magic products, to magic wands, or to push the energy, and crystals. The crystals help. All of that is helpful, but it's really you focusing your energy through that. It's not actually the wand isn't doing it.
They're just tools.
Yeah.
Tools for the toolbox. I have lots of them.
You could use your finger. When you point
Yeah,
at
you can.
someone,
Yes.
you're not supposed to really do that because you're casting a spell while you're talking.
Right.
You're like, well, you better do this and blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And you're like,
Yeah.
as another creator, you're like, bro, keep it off my wave, chump. You know,
Yeah.
stop pointing your finger at me. And that's the thing. We're all based down here getting things done. And what we're trying to do is take that energy and streamline it, bring it home, become aware of it, and expand on it, make yourself better inside, and it'll just reflect outward. But yes, external as well. Take a shower, do the right thing, keep your house clean, trim your nails, do what you got to do, get a haircut.
Yep.
Because when you're a mess and you know you're a mess and you feel a little messy, you're reflecting that mess from the inside.
Sure.
You know.
Sure. And you speak it too. It comes out your mouth too, not just it shows in every way.
Right. Now, here's examples. You could charge your water. I put my hands on either side of my copper cup. I know you do that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Your hands just down on either side, and you set intentions just for a few seconds. And then the more and more and more you do this, just like with the rituals or uses of certain words, once you hit a certain point, it becomes instantaneous. So when someone says to you, send love, done.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I clear someone, they're clear already as soon as I put my attention towards it because everything pushes out. But to make them easier, I talk to them as I'm doing it. And then there's that amount of time. And then I'm like, well, now how do you feel? And they're like, I feel great. And I'm like, right. Okay, good. You feel good. But it's done that way. But in the beginning, I had to get a crystal, bless my water, get stage, put my bracelets on, get my fucking sword, put my shields up. You got to do all these things until you do it so much.
Yep. It comes second nature.
Because that's what it is. It's our nature to do
it. It is our nature, and it becomes your second nature. And you live it, you start living it every day, and it's like so simple. Come on, guys. It's getting really warm out here, so I can't leave them out too long. They'll be miserable puppies. Don't want miserable doggies. You want to say hi? Say hi to Frank.
Hey.
Say hi to Frank.
Hi.
Say hi. That's Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Say hi.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, I wake up with that every morning laying on me.
You know, I wake up now and everyone runs up to greet me or like pops up and I get hyper excited from it. Old me is like, what are you looking at? Right? Why are you looking at me? Now it's like you realize, man, I was excited to see you. And now it's like, hey, it's you, it's me, it's you.
Awesome.
It's me, it's you. All right. That attitude changed everything. So I talk about 10% a week changing things. Mm-hmm. If you wake up every day and you're like, you mess, you look in the mirror, you're fat, you're ugly. All right. Start right there. Brush your teeth, drink a glass of water, brush your teeth, whatever you got to do, and look in the mirror and just tell yourself, hey, man, I love you. We're going to give it a really good go today. Best we got. And when the shit starts happening and it doesn't go my way, I'm not going to be angry and be like, look what you did. I thought we made the agreement this morning. No, you're going to let it go and keep moving, right? And you'll notice as you do that, it's like little moments you can drop yourself this happy anchor. You just take the minute, and then these obstacles start to move out of the way. Mm-hmm. Even when they land right in front of you, you kind of swerve and get out of the way. Everything from almost getting hit by a car, right, when you're crossing the street, to catching someone right at the perfect moment when you needed to be there, or the phone call comes in right at that moment that you needed it to. Yeah. Bring in those optimum timelines to work for you in that way. A lot of things have happened to me since FearLess, and I cry and complain about certain things just to find out 3/4 of the way through, oh man, if any of those things came true that I desperately wanted, this whole thing would have been ruined. It's got to go this way. And guess what? It's going beautifully. And I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, you're right. So long time ago, when I first started, I was wondering, well, how do you make money with this? Can we make money with this? My music isn't making money. And then I was like, well, FearLess has nothing to do with that. I immediately went, and I'm like, this information doesn't cost. And I was like, okay, now let's open that up and see how this is going to work. And I started building off of that. And I realized now, I had gone under and I said, the light workers of the world has 1 million followers, and these people have 1 million, and they're like, and what do you have that you're so desperately seeking something else? I says, well, we had a little over 350 in the group. And I says, oh, about 350. They're like, we would take your 300 that are willing to put in the hard work. You're not waiting for the event. You realize you are the event. This is what's going to happen. It's going to pull everything towards you as you create the timeline. Yeah, nobody wants to work for that. Nobody wants to put in the hard work. Nobody wants to clear themselves out so they can become an anchor point to that energy. They want it to come and save them like Jesus. Like, oh, instead of Jesus, it'll be the event. And it's like, no, if you clean and clear out, you'll bring the event sooner, because we're all on the grid points to light the earth. Like we are lightning rods. So when this energy comes in, our mother, the planet, won't shake and shudder and explode. Right. If not, you're just going to shake everyone off like fleas. So by you digging into your sacred space in your wherever you're at, you create momentum for yourself for this to occur. And you're also in a place where that shit ain't going to happen. Like I was asking, do I have to move? Are we going to go underwater? Is it going to be 10 days of darkness? What the fuck's going to happen? It's like, ain't nothing going to happen to you. And so I'm like, nothing's going to happen. But I don't walk around aloof going, nothing's going to happen. I'm hyper aware of everything, and I keep it clean and active and joyful, or best we can. Because when we purge around here. And then it brings things into this exciting new realm. They're like, well, your 300 does that with you. They're like, they explained how it occurs, how there's like 3 that are always tight at the 1, 2, 3 spot. Then there's 5 after that are there. 10, no problem. 20, we got you back. 50, let me know. I'm there though. 300 are going to watch. 100 will be like, they'll hear your call and privately do it. Right? They won't say nothing. And then a bunch of other people just watch, share. It'll trick something inside of them to go, you know what? Well, there's 50 of them doing it. There's 86 people here now. Look, there's 200. That energy goes boom, 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 boom.
Sure does.
So that's all we do in our group. Is build that momentum. It's like we were building an unbreakable, unshakable foundation for ourselves and as a crew. So they say, if it's said, if 3 or more gather in my name, the rap, like you could do anything. So what's that name? Well, that name is the I am, right? So here we have had trouble removing demons with just me, or beings or entities or parasites, whatever. You put 3 of us in the room that are active around the one person who just has no clue. We instantly can work, keep the space clean, the demon be gone, you're gone. Reptilian, you're not getting back in. It just works. So there's 300 of us working. So what are you going to do at any time? You go into the room and you're like, wow, look, there's all of us in here. Nothing can touch you. You're automatically protected in the frequency as you connect to it. And we built that, you and I and the others. I just grabbed a microphone and said, hey, let's go. You know, I had to find a way to make sense without losing my shit. You know, like I said, I don't even have anything written down for any of this stuff, because you just got to speak from your heart and tell the story from your perspective.
You do.
Go through it. There's no my way is the right way. It's just soul family. Why is it, there's another reason. Why do you think guys are only at that level all the time with that amount of people? Maybe that's your whole soul group. There's a bunch of you that just came in and now you found each other. Right? So you guys are anchored in that now. You actually found what you were looking for. And then after all this craziness, we get the celebration. And you can to celebrate any which way you can. I know Fearless Family will get together. We're all meeting on the side and doing certain things together.
We need to, we should, and I've been thinking about this a lot, that we need to, I would really love to see us all get together physically. As many as can make it. It would have to be a central point, or, you know, wherever. And as if somebody's coming from somewhere and they can pick up people on their way, you know, like I have it all worked out.
You rent a house and you tell everybody this is where we're going to be. Whoever can make it. I look forward to those moments. There's so many beautiful things that would never have gotten a chance to occur. Like I literally, Paul and I talk about this. There's nobody here to tell. Who am I going to talk to here in the Bronx, right? Like
Exactly.
he was living, he came from Texas back here. We had each other for a little bit. Josh lives in Brooklyn. That's like another state over from me.
Yeah.
To go 12 miles takes 3 hours, right? So
Yeah.
nobody's going anywhere.
Right.
So all we had is this online presence. And
Right.
through that, it's almost like we're reaching through the computer screen and grabbing it.
Absolutely.
You know?
I feel that. But I think we should just set the intention and put it out there. You know, I mean, I don't even know how many people are around here. I think I'm kind of in the boonies somewhere. You guys are all out in New York and all over the place.
They're everywhere, yeah.
And I moved here. I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian. I moved here in 2013 because I remarried. I bought a house over there after the divorce, and then I remarried and moved here to Michigan. Never thought I would be living in the U.S. But
That's awesome.
yeah.
I used to perform in Canada all the time, everywhere.
Did you where?
Lindsay, Ontario.
Oh yeah.
We'd go from Toronto. We do all the spots there, and we just drive up.
Yeah.
Do all the spots in Lindsay, and then from Lindsay we'd go out a little west.
That's
and then,
weird.
Oh, you don't even know. I have stories and stories. I woke up one day and they're like, "Get up!" It was 5 a.m, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" And when you're on tour and shit, you're just like,
yeah.
X. They took us up this mountain, and we were in Canada, and it started snowing as we went up there, and there's this wolf preserve up there. We went up there. We got out. I had to go dog sledding, and then go into this with this pack of wolves, rap songs. All the wolves were with me. And
wow.
It was the weirdest
thing.
That's
awesome.
Then they took us to the ice lake that was at the top. There was like this platform, and people were like playing hockey and stuff on this ice lake. And it was a girl gang. We were in the middle of nowhere, by the way. And they had snowmobiles, and they all wore pink. So they were like the pink ladies from Greece, except they were like, "Get on the back of my, snowmobile." They took us out to the middle of the lake, and we had to perform while they were jumping off ramps.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty weird for me. I was like, I'm not standing under these crazy chicks while they're jumping on my bald head like I was throwing. But yeah, I had some fun. Then we go to the clubs that night. We did all the local radio stations.
Awesome.
For years, I went back and forth and had some fun in Toronto. I went into one of the places and they were playing our song, and I lost my shit because it's not like New York. New York, there's like a pay to play thing unless you're on the radio.
Yeah.
And, or the DJ finds you. If not, it's these famous DJs playing the same shit over and over again.
Right.
I went out there, did some music, put it on the radio, and it actually went out on the radio.
Oh,
so
wow.
Mr. Burns, my half partner for Heist Click, lives up in Lindsay, and he has a big house.
Oh, no kidding. It's beautiful up there.
I saw a UFO last time I was in Canada.
Yeah. They say there's a lot up there.
There was nothing. The sky had the green. You could see the
Northern Lights?
The Northern Lights from where I was.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me, look, you're going to see the stars move, you see UFOs and shit. Don't freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Burns knows how I am. I went outside. I saw one with him, and we were holding each other because it was pretty low. But it was moving so fast. He was coming back and forth and back. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Then a jet passed us, and it passed, and then the sound came. So we were like, oh, shit. And then they circled. They came around 2 ways.
No way.
And it just shot up. And I'm like, oh, it disappeared. And then I was looking, and it just went up higher. So the jets kept going after it, and then it would just move itself higher and higher. And just blink. So I sat out for like an hour and a half watching.
That's a great experience.
Oh, I loved it. I've had quite a few UFO experiences, but once again, I don't know. What is that, right?
I don't know.
I feel I know from my perception what it is, but that's rude to throw out there to everyone else. I just keep it in my storyline and say, hey, man, I met quite a few of them at this point, went through the abductions. I don't know if you ever experienced that.
Solaris said yes, I have, but I don't remember.
I have spots on my body where I was tagged, and during ayahuasca sessions, she would be fighting it and trying to destroy it and turn the frequency, take the actual device and snap it. Like all these weird things would happen. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then they would show me pieces until I would go, oh, what is that? What is that? Until I was able to watch it. Then I had to live it. So I had to relive each. They've been abducting us. And I'm like, why is it us? And then I go, wait a second, it's not I'm not special. I am special. I'm the creator, right?
Right.
Just like you.
Right.
That's what they're. Not everybody rocking the flesh suit is a creator being,
Right.
keeping an eye on us.
Right.
Everybody's doing experiments, and some of us inside this human form are creator beings, but we're part of the experiment under contracts with these other beings. I'll give an example. This kid down the block, Steve, begging me. He says they come for me at night. They keep taking me. So he's like, "You're the only shaman I've ever heard of. I'm just gonna ask you." And he's a gangster kid. So I go, during meditation, I'll take a look at it. So he's literally right down the street. So I turn during the meditation. I'm taking a deep breath. I see the grid, and I see the ship is just sitting there over his house all day, all night. So I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? And they come right out and they're like, mind your business. And I'm like, I understand what that means because I'm leaving my sacred space to go into his. I had his permission though. So as I came in, they stopped me like at the door, like, no, you can't come in. This is an experiment. He's one of us.
Oh, you did tell that story.
Yeah. And they're like, you have to mind your business. He thinks he's getting abducted, but he's one of us, literally. Look. And I just saw the connection. I'm like, oh, like he knows when he's up there in the ship that he's one of them, and then agrees, goes into the body, gets amnesia, and he's like, holy shit, they're abducted. That, and I've seen that as well. And I'm like, oh, so I couldn't get involved. I told him, dude, those are your boys. And he's like, yeah, all right, you would say that if they were coming in your home. I'm like, they've come in my home. Recently, when they attacked me, they were in here. They piled in the room. And I'm like, is it the event? Are you taking me to the spaceship? And then they turned this device on me, and I got knocked out of my fucking body, and they tried to kill me. And I went, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, and that's one that I'm awake for. That's not a psychological. That's not a psychedelic. I'm standing here, and it's occurring while I'm just standing here. So there are everything from one end to the other. I tell people it's all there. Sasquatch to the UFO, alien, whatever. It's all real.
Well, I'm supposed to have. She said that I have children over there or wherever.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I seen they've been taking them from us forever. Paul and I agreed. No.
Yeah, I know.
Because they keep taking them.
Yeah.
Doing whatever. She saw hers, but whatever they were making, because it's not like they're hers. Like we're having sex and this is what's happening.
Right.
Beating them and pulling them out.
Right.
So you get one that has your face with the hair, then one with your face that's bald with the eyes of the ETs.
Right.
They're trying. They explained this to me. They said, "Listen, we're trying to get a copy of your essence," and I'm like, "Well, you're making a photocopy, basically. You're not doing it correctly." And they're like, "No, you have no." They always tell me, "You're not smart, Frank. Like you don't know what you're doing." But I'm like, you can't have the essence. That's something you can't steal.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I try to talk to them about this as well. I said, let me educate you from the uneducated to the educated. We could give this freely to you, but you don't want to take it because that's the way your species works. And like you could work with me instead of against me. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're nothing to me. It's like you're the cow that we eat or get milk.
Yeah.
Like it does, and I'm like, yeah, but the human side is that human flesh suit you're talking about, because you're not talking about me, right? The creator, like we're all connected, but now at this point, as I'm the white creator being in the robe standing in front of you, I'm the all, and you're connected to me, but I'm coming from up here. So what are you talking about? You guys can't even access this, and that's why you want my essence in there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not pretend it's not a shit show. You guys are scheming.
Right.
The scheme is what keeps it not working. Right? If you came from a beautiful intent and everyone got together and helped, you'd make it happen.
Yep.
Somebody might even go, here's a piece of me and you. But nobody wants to do that because you've been stealing fucking pieces because we've been fixing those fractals. In other words, under you might see this. You might have done this under other psychedelics or just whatever. Those children, them taking them forcibly implanting you, et cetera, et cetera. It goes down the line, however they do it. That's so much PTSD that's hidden inside of you.
Yeah.
And that comes out. It's like,
I bet.
Imagine that. I'm like, they have my children. I've never seen any of my kids yet. And I'm like, no, I'm connected to everyone, but I saw Me and Paula, he came here with the heist in mind, with my soul family, got in from the very beginning and knew they were going to do this. So on another level, we knew they were going to take from us and use it. And those beings are out there.
Yeah.
Whatever out there means. It's
whatever out there means. Yeah.
Matrix they come from. Beings are portaling in constantly from here, there, and the other, where they're portaling in from another area. They're not flying over. They're not taking a cab to my house. They're opening a hole from one matrix, jumping through a hole into the new matrix.
Yeah, I'm going to draw you a picture. I want to know if this resonates with you. Oops. I'm not an artist by any means, but I'm trying. So this is how I understand it. So this would be one matrix, and then there's a gap in here.
Yes.
The matrix, and there's a gap. A matrix, and there's a gap.
It's almost like a dimensional thing.
Oh, gap here. Sorry. Yeah. It's almost like a dimensional. Yeah, it is dimensional. They say the dimensions are like this. They're so close together, but there's gaps in between.
Like pages in a book. If you were flapping the book, you know.
Yes. And so you can, like, long time ago, years ago, I learned something, and I can't remember where I learned it from. Maybe Sylvia Brown, because I was into Sylvia Brown a lot. 3 feet from our Earth, 3 feet up, there's one. 3 feet up, there's one. I'm just wondering, like, that's pretty freaking close, right? I'm 5'2", so it means, like, at my belly, there could be ghosts running around there, or here, or And I grew up in a haunted house, so everybody saw ghosts but me, but I felt them.
Right, the presence is undeniable sometimes.
Yeah.
I saw my great grandfather. I thought it was a guy robbing my house.
Oh, yeah. I remember that story too.
I went to go tackle him, and he turned, and I seen that he was like, there was no feet.
Floating.
It was just it was like this guy wearing a suit with the jacket and the tie from back 1930s, 1920s. And he turned and looked at me. He had the hat on, and I went, "Oh, you're not even," because I could see through him kind of.
Yeah.
And then he just moved right directly to me and looked me in the eyes, and I lost my shit. I fell on the floor. I was going, "Oh, my beard turned." When I first started this, I had one little strip of white that came from that moment. So I had pitch black beard hair, and then and now it's all bright white. I've only been on this path since 2014.
Yeah, but you look more like a shaman now.
I know. The more I look like the more this goes on, because I'm 45 now. I'll be 45 this year. So the more this goes on, the more I seem to falling into this weird place of feeling better. So it's making me look better, look younger.
Yeah.
And then also look like my higher self a little bit. He's like the uber good looking version of me, and he's like really tall and everything, but they're like, eventually you guys, we're one. So you're just going to be able to be what I am, if that's what you're looking at. If that visually stimulates you, that's what you're going to be.
There you go.
I'm like, I just want to be the best me.
You can choose that too.
Yes. Well, it gets deep. They were like, at one point, you're going to be able to just control the suit.
Yeah.
The suit is just light. You're going to realize.
I think I'm already doing it. Because I have to tell you.
Okay.
Before I joined this group, I had a lot of, they weren't health issues. I'm very active. I've been an athlete pretty well all my life till I got married and started having kids and shit. But I started to feel like I would get out in the spring. Like, gardening is my thing in the summertime. I'm a master gardener too, so that's my thing, right? I need to do it. And in the springtime, when I would get out there for the first couple times, I would be in bed for 2 days, not being able to move my legs. And I don't know where that came from, because that's never happened to me. Ever since I've been in this group, meditation has healed my body. I have no aches and pains. I'm going to be 50 something this year.
That's all right. You don't have to tell us. I understand.
Close to 60. But I feel like I'm 20. I have nothing going on and I'm psychically, I do scans, I clear whatever I need to clear. And I'm telling you, it works.
That's the awareness I talk about. Like, be aware of your body? Are you listening to it? Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Don't eat that, eat this, go left, go right. Like, what is going on in there? Who you listening to and what's happening? When you just pull in you and you know it's you scan it, do everything, and it happens. You get up in the morning, you do it, and you're like, whoa. Then you feel, I feel like the 7-year-old some days.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, this house is 7-year-old across the board some days.
Yeah.
Right? We adulting, but we're going back to that. The fantasy's awesome and imagination's fantastic.
Yes.
I love being here, and
yes.
I love my cat, and I love making music, and I love my action figures, and fuck this and fuck that. Yeah, but all from a good place. My heart.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How can I help? Do you need help? Let me grab a bag. Let me help you clean up so dinner takes 5 minutes instead of 45 minutes for you
Yes.
and 2 minutes for me to eat.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you start recognizing that, things just start popping off.
Yeah.
So we feel like that younger version. But see, I think, you got the smile too. I have it. Paula has it. We can't help it. We're like,
Yeah, I know.
this is working.
It's great because I used to be so miserable.
Yeah, and you'd have headaches because you'd be frowning.
Yeah. And I got the frown marks. I mean, I do have them from being so miserable. They're here.
Right. And now it's not really there. It's like when you hit it, you go, oh, I don't like this feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
I did this.
You know it the minute it comes in. I'm like, no. This ain't happening.
Right. And there's an understanding why this isn't going to happen. See, that's when the work is being done. There's like, whoa, I don't like that because it turns me into a pouty face. I act like a little bitch. You know what? I'm rude to the people around me. My cat don't like me. Paul, what is wrong with you? Right? And I'm like that just leads down a fucking rabbit hole that just never ends. So this takes nothing.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And it feels so fucking good.
Chills everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth.
It is.
Okay, so prior to a bunch of this, like let's say the group, for example, I didn't have this like this. Like Paula and I, everyone's like, we want what you want. You and Paul are this, that, and the other thing. I go, we work so hard to have that. Like we care every day, every minute, right? But it's work at first, like hard work, right? Like, what do you look like? She's smiling at me from across the room while she just made me coffee. And I'm like, what are you looking at? Why are you staring at me like that? From that to, thank you, love. It's so great to see you. Yay. And you're smiling back. You don't even know why you're smiling. You're just happy you're in love. Hey, right? But that's because we put in all that extra work. We created this by saying, you know what? Enough of all the old ways. Nothing worked.
Yeah.
It only worked a little. Let's make it work 100%. How do we do that? And then we have those conversations, and we've gotten to the point now, and I admitted this is the checkpoint I hit the other day. My brain isn't working to send the signal out. If I'm thinking, let's say I want to get excited. I don't mean to talk like this, but I don't think of anything external anymore. I think of everything here. Right?
Yeah.
Right to that. I don't know when that happened. It's almost like my left and right brain don't play the game no more. Like, oh, look at this, or let's go over here. I run after her.
See?
Because it's right here. It's never going to be out there. What is this phony And then, but this weird thing happened. So I was looking at the screen. I was just on Facebook, and I could see that it was a portal, a digital portal. And anything that came up there is just programming you. Unless you're fully aware that you're getting programmed, deprogrammed by saying, no, I don't want no part of this. This is why I sage my TV. It reminds me that there's a portal that sucks you in if you get too attached to it. Well, I disattach from that, even though I'm right here. And now it's clear. It's almost like the headaches I was having, no matter how much water I was drinking, and then they just go away instantly. And then it would hurt here, and then here, and then here. I think my lobes connected or something.
Yeah.
Left and right. So now I'm just in the gnosis of, I'm so happy. We have everything. And they're like, you don't have everything. You live in a 1-bedroom. I'm like, I have everything.
Yeah.
Everything that I need is right here.
Exactly.
It's like the checkpoint I hit. She's like, but it's the truth, right?
Yeah.
And then how many times do you need to see, let's say, while you're under psychedelics, they show you. So I'm being shown things. What does it take now for you to get in that mode? For you to reprogram yourself? You like this. It's been going on lifetime after lifetime. You and Paula, you heard the story when I met Paula in Egypt.
Yes.
on the other side. She was my wife.
Yes.
That was our first Aya experience. We only knew each other like a month. And then I knew then, right? But prior to that, I was a little pain in the ass, a little rock star running around like, man, I don't fuck
Yeah.
that, fuck that.
Yeah.
I saw that and I knew, oh, like it's us against everything. And then it's like, you're not fighting. You're bringing yourself back online.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, it's a fight, but it's like fight for your consciousness, my will to be here. So it is a fight in that regard. But now I'm at the point the flower's open.
Yes.
Right.
And it's an everyday, every minute thing now. It's not like you forget about it for an hour because you're doing something else. It's always here.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt
It's
anymore.
always here.
Right? Remember in the beginning it hurt to activate.
Oh yeah.
I can only do it for an hour. I can only talk to everyone for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or we can only do conscious conversation. That's
Yeah.
us breaking the programming.
Yeah.
And that new energy getting in, and it's so much, you like fry yourself, and then
Yep.
it's so tempting you go back.
Well, that's why I took that time off. I was gone for I just couldn't get in here. I looked at the little symbol and I can't do it. I can't do it because I was processing so much and I had to integrate so much. And from that, when I first came back on and I messaged you and I said, look, I'm back. You're like, where'd you go?
No, I knew you were gone. I sent you a message because somewhere after like 3 weeks, I was like, oh yes, missing. And because it takes me a while because I'm working with all these people to like see who's not there because there's other people going crazy and I'm like, your attention is going everywhere.
Yeah.
But then once that happened, I remember when you popped back in, that's when you started teaching.
I did.
Yeah, you came in.
I integrated so much, and you said something during one of the meditations. You said we were talking about waivers, first waiver, second waiver, and you mentioned me, and you said something about meditation. I said, "This is it. I came back in here for this reason," and I knew it's what I wanted. I wanted that. You mentioned it, and I went for it, and I was like, I'm not turning back.
Yeah, you jumped at, it was like you came back from out of nowhere and jumped right to the head of the family. You know, it works at everyone's level, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But when we talk about this, I mean, I'm the one that's out there doing the meditations, and I'm saying anyone can do this here. This is a room for that. So we can all grow together because I learn. Like I've watched your meditations, I've listened to your talks, I've watched the shows. This is all new and stuff, and I'm watching you guys as this is a shaman's dream, is to watch everyone around them growing into their own flower.
I bet.
Right? So you willingly grow as a flower. That would be me. And then the petal, you take one, you take one, you take one. And then everyone gets one and goes, oh, but I have, and then they open. And I'm like, look, my whole purpose is to get a bunch of us on.
Yeah.
I think it was to wake my soul family.
Sure.
You know, that like to say, I was told my voice would do it. They'll just know you from your voice.
Your voice did it.
Right. And it took me a year to do the show.
For me, your voice did it. Yes.
Everyone that talks to me says to me, it was your voice, something in your voice. I only want you to talk to me. And I don't.
And I thought about this way before you even just mentioned this. I knew it was the voice.
That's the activation code. We're rocking a frequency, some of us, and then it activates the others, and then people will hear you and know. They'll just hear you and go, nope, that's true. That's them. That's us.
Yeah.
On that weird level. If they're, I'm like, there's no coincidence you're going to watch this. Anyone who's watching this is hearing this because they're meant to.
Yes.
Then you're cycling through, and if it affects someone, you got them. That's part of the family. We're all connected. But if you resonate to it, you're in. That's you.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's how we take the system. Not by becoming famous and ultra popular. And
no kidding. I know.
We'll just grow together in a giant thing and then just come out. What are you going to do? That's the greatest heist in the world. We're all going off at the same time. Hello. Right? And then I get to learn. I do all this from I don't read anything. I've read the Emerald Tablets, a bunch of other Law of One books. I went through the experiences before I did any of that reading. Like and that's nothing. I have 10 books most. I'm like bringing the gnosis back without anyone else's interference.
Yes.
So I read the book. I might go under and go, oh, and then I'll come in from that way. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. What I'm finding is that I'll go through things and people are sharing with me stuff. Hey, you're talking directly about this, and this is on page whatever, chapter whatever of this book over here. I'm like, well, that's what's there. That's what I'm seeing. So my job is to just report my
Sure.
perspective
Yeah.
and not challenge. It's to challenge your mind to open up to more, but really arguing like with whether Earth is flat and stuff like that. That's not my. I don't give a shit about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I get you.
I don't either.
Well, people in our group, when we all came in at one point or another, everyone spoke about flat Earth. Everyone spoke about certain things, and that's the rabbit holes, right? So I'm not here to say don't do that rabbit hole if you're wasting your time. No,
Yeah.
I went through it.
Yeah.
I thought for 2 seconds the Earth might be flat because we're in a digital projection. So the layer is flat, but the Earth isn't. It's like opens once you go into the layer of frequency. But you have to go through that to understand.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
can't tell you that. I could tell you that till the cows come home. You're not going to listen. But
That
that's my
pissed me
perspective.
off when I first heard it. I was pissed. Not because of a program, but just because if all of the other planets are round,
Cells
yes,
around.
maybe it's not completely round, and maybe something did hit it at some point, and it does look like it's not completely round, but it's not flat. I don't think it's flat. She says in her book, and in this book, they're both right.
No, they are both right. And here's the thing. You're on the chessboard, right? So etherically, you're correct. And then on another point in etherically, you're incorrect terribly. But so is the round guy because
Yep.
it's a torus.
Yep.
So it flips around like a
torus.
donut,
Yep.
and then you're walking inside the donut, and it's projecting whatever that matrix is, and you're just going around. That's why the more things change, the more they stay the same. Things keep replicating themselves, and you're just relearning every single lesson and reliving the same shit over and over. That's why it's
Yep.
the way it always been is the way it always going to be, and certain things change and certain things don't, and you're looking at it. It's really just projections on a screen, and you're standing in a room in some place.
Yep.
So even if somebody came along and said, well, the Earth is technically only a digital holographic space, they'd be correct too. So I just stopped arguing the rabbit hole points.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to experience it, right?
Sure.
You have to go through it. And then we all uncover, because each one of us has a different piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Even the fool is right.
Yeah.
The foolishness, and the broken clock is right 2
Yep.
times a day. And, everyone has a say. Somebody's always seeing it from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you think it's wrong, it's still
Right.
a perspective.
And
Right?
at the end, nobody really knows anything anyways.
Well, the more I know, I don't know shit.
Exactly.
So
And that's why I
I
stopped with rabbit holes, and that's why I stopped with all the government stuff. And I was really bad at it. I mean, good at it, but bad at, projecting out. I did it, and I can't do it no more. It makes me sick. I can't do it because if that's not my world.
Yeah, it's
in this world. It's just a part of my world.
And all the media and distractions and fake everything.
Yeah.
The overlay of the Matrix, the deception overlay that was put there by whatever dark characters decided to put it there. The place is meant to do it to you. I tell people this. All of those distractions are there for you. Plus, your human body was programmed to only see 3%. Why? And they're like, I don't know, man, but they got us trapped. And I'm like, no. They are so scared of you. If all of this is for little old you're all this for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I must be a real pain in the ass on the other side to you, right? To have all of this. So they create like a funhouse distraction box, and you all go in it, and they put an overlay, and it keeps flashing the bullshit. What we're doing is going, I don't resonate with that. Back up. And then it's just our space. My brain used to show me 500 pictures a second. I got to go here, there. My rap lyrics and getting laid and going nuts and smoking. And all right. There's nothing there now. There's not even a screen. It's just open manifestation area.
There you go.
Through having all the screens and then seeing how it's being projected at me and then going, no, I can't handle that, to dropping the screens, to clearing out each fractal, each screen I saw, I started clearing out. And then one screen, then the void, then the white light, then fit in my space. I'm like, every time I close my eyes, shit changes. Now it looks like the grid. I could see how the grid's running and I could see the negative grid, which is just above and below the chessboard. So all these references are correct. It's just we're not being taught anything about them properly. And if we are thinking it's coming through the right source, if it's coming off of mainstream anything, you're going to go down the rabbit hole, or you're going to hit the wall with something, and you start arguing, no, it's flat earth, no, it's flat earth, no, it's flat. It's like, dude, give it up. So at some point you're correct, and at another point you're not correct, and just sit in that and be like, that's okay.
Let it go.
Just let it go. It's all right. It's gnosis points. Get more gnosis. Stop sitting in that pool of flat earth or concave this or the jump pools and take the truth from all of them. Everything's got a little bit of truth. Right? Even the Bible, like all right, Aaron did the talk with me in the room, right? How awesome is he?
Yeah, he's awesome.
You just want to grab his face. Right? So to me, he's Space Jesus, baby.
He is.
Son, right? Like I tease him with all that. And boom, we're here activated and we're outward, and it's just beginning to. He comes from a complete different background. I get him to curse. He doesn't curse naturally. Like he's like, oh, that's how me and him we're together. It's because I was cursing so much when he was here. He's like, wow. And I'm like, no, I'm free, because this is how I was just making a point. And then it like unlocks the unlock. And then he taught me a few things from the Bible perspective. And I grew up Catholic. I just don't.
So did I.
Right. So the nuns beat me senseless. And I loved my nuns. I was walking through the hallway and they shame Frankie.
I was taught by nuns too.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? And they were different back then. They throw you a beating. They'll take 6 of you and beat the crap out of you. And you're like, how did that lady do that? And she doesn't even speak English. We used to have the nun with the bell. We used to ninja ring the bell.
Or the strap.
Listen, she would beat the shit out of me one day. She was only half my size. She hit me in the head with the belt. It came around, hit me on the other side of the head. And and then before I knew it, the other kid was down next to me, and he was going, "No, what are you doing?" No, it was
ninja nun.
Yeah. And because she'd go, "No, that's all she knew, and everything else was Italian or Latin." And so
I had French nuns.
No.
Mine were all French.
So we went through it, man. It was just
but Aaron's got some good shit about the Bible, and you know what? I kind of got really pissed off about the Bible for a long time, and then realized that that's where you look for things, and there's only little bits here and there.
Because the best lie is 80% truth. Right. And it's your perspective. Once again, you're telling a story of a guy, and his parables are fantastic. Jesus' parables, that's common sense across the fucking board. But you're looking for external Jesus to save you. That's where they get you.
That's where they get you.
Yeah. Jesus just says, and they only let him announce it once in the book because it's been rewritten a million times. You can do what I can do. That he just doesn't say it like that. So you feel like you have to live this weird life and all this other shit. Meanwhile, there's beings in that book eating people and killing firstborn. And you're like,
and there's all kinds of pedophile going on in that book too.
So you're like, wait a second, holy shit. So you take the best things you find that work for you out of that, and then you go on to the next pool of knowledge. One will carry you to the next. When you hit that wall and you're just finding yourself in that loop of weirdness, that's when you have to step out of it and go, you know what? Even when we can't communicate the deep end of the pool information, because we still have to resonate with it, we still have to come out and lay it on the table for people and say, look, I know, but look, this is what my piece is of the puzzle. What do we think about this? Very interesting.
It is very interesting. Sorry.
No,
I just banged the window with that. I hope you didn't hear that. I did check. I thought somebody was at the door in the back.
Space Jesus is at the door. He's waiting.
Come on, Space Jesus. I got some questions for you.
Because I moved through the Egyptian stuff into the Indian pantheon, into the Roman pantheon and the Greek pantheon. I was even on the other side. I asked, so I watched Clash of the Titans, I said to them. And they go, well, who do you want to meet? Right? So I said, Perseus, the main star of the movie. And then I saw the guy that was in the movie standing in front of me. And I go, no, I don't want to meet him. That's the actor. And they go, well, Perseus isn't real. Perseus is you. So I go, me, Frank? And they were like, no, no, no. It's the hero's journey. So anyone taking that journey would be the Perseus, would be the Horus. You are part Anunnaki god,
Right.
and you're also human, and you can do all the things that he's doing in the movie against these things, because
Right.
they're all creations. If they ain't praying to these things, they're not getting any energy. They don't exist. So they're thought form entities that you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are actual beings from over there, from wherever that frequency is. I hate to say over there. It sounds like it's over
I know.
there. They're really
I
right
know.
here in front of us. It's just you access their level.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, then I don't want to meet anyone, because I am everything. And they were like, there you go. You want to see yourself? And then they showed me, and I fainted.
Oh,
I couldn't believe the light. It
really?
was so beautiful, like beyond anything that you could just stare at, where now I can just be that. But then I looked upon myself like I was a god or an ET of some kind that was bigger than anything, and that he was still over here and he had to get to me. And he's like, no, I'm already here. I have to project outward to you so you see me, or you just hear me in your head. Frank wants to see me. So now I'm standing here showing you, but I'm really over you. You're just cracking the layers, and now more
Right.
of me is spilling out. It's us. And I'm like, this is fucking weird, because every time I look at you, I'm also seeing you from the other perspective. It just keeps going until I'm in source, and then it goes out of source and keeps going. And they said, you're infinite, and you have to believe that, or that none of this is going to work.
Right.
Right.
Right. You have to trust, right?
Yeah. And how do you tell someone that's into like Jesus and God and the old religious ways that, no, it's you? Take God out of it and call yourself the creator or prime source or whatever in the body. You're an individual.
Well, they had to. They had to do all of this so that our greatness didn't come out, because they weren't ready for that to come out yet. And they're not ready now, but it's too fucking late, because it's all coming out. And you think, this is what I have to say. I have to say that you should have let it happen back in the day, because it's going to be 20 times worse now.
Yeah, it's going to be worse for them.
For
us,
them.
it's going to be
For them, it's going to be worse. That's what I'm saying. For us, we're going to be on our. We're going to be flying. We're going to be so happy about this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They just held back the natural process.
They did.
They put us in the bodies, because that was a whole nother thing.
Yes.
We would have been going through this process as light beings on the planet if there was no interference. We would already just have the gnosis. If there was no matrix overlay around us, we would have been done with this already.
Because we're so powerful. They had to. If they wanted to stay in control, they had to put us in that position, because we would have been in control a long fucking time ago.
We had control.
Yeah.
We gave it up. The only way to defeat one of us is to make us believe we're defeated.
Exactly.
So they convince you to believe that you're not worthy, and then you can't lift the hammer or pull the sword out of the stone. Those are just examples for you to follow the hero's journey to activate and pull the sword out. You already have the sword.
Right.
You already are the raw consciousness. It's not coming from some sacred place out there.
Exactly.
It's all right here. You're just breaking the man out of the cement. You're creating the image out of the block again.
Yes.
And then you will transmute and take the suit with you. It will be it's part of you. So when you're like, well, I'm not really human, I'm Arcturian from wherever, I'm like, no, you're human too.
Yes.
Don't ever forget that. It doesn't matter if you feel awkward or weird, because your job is to take this body with you. And it's in all the other fractals, you get to keep your shit. Like, if you've done this as a lion being or as a Arcturian or Pleiadian or whatever, we've done all that. Fractals, it's everything. So whatever, you are everything. You're bringing that back home, and you keep the memories through all those times. The human experience is the only time you have the amnesia. Why? Because the bodies are a controlled system.
Right.
You see the overlay matrix, not the real matrix.
Right.
Right? Not nature.
The technology.
Yeah. So it's always tech. It's always some advanced form of tech and bullshit.
Yeah.
I've seen the soul stealing machine. I tried to stop it myself. They said, you can't. The soul's trapped in there. I argued with the beings there, the reptilians and the grid, and I proved my points across the board. When the reptilians had me, I said, okay, so you guys are masters of 4D frequency, because that's what I must be in for you to see you. And they're like, yeah, you can only see a little bit, but we're always there. we're not anywhere out there. Like, we control the whole thing. And I go, yeah, but you don't know about going up? Because I just came from Source, and Source is like 15 more up, so, or like 12 more up. You literally are like from 4D down to the bottom to whatever. You're like masters of the whole thing, but yet you have no common sense enough to know there's more, right? You pray to the AI. The AI sits in 4D frequency, that pyramid with the eye in it, right? I go above that and look down at them, and they can't see me. Yet my body's standing right in front of them, and they're like, where'd he go? And I'm like, okay, they have no fucking clue that this goes more, right?
Right.
When you start seeing things like that, you realize how much more you are.
Exactly, of course.
Right? And then you understand that they don't understand. And then you get a little weird compassion for them. You understand why.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's why they eat babies and do black magic.
God.
Okay, and you keep. I know. Well, that's another reason why we're here. My specific purpose was to come in and disrupt those rituals, the old rituals, because I'm not afraid of what comes out of the portal. I've already faced my darkness. You ain't getting darker than that. It doesn't matter. The darkness will just keep getting darker, whatever you present to it. So if you're like, fuck this, and you're pretty evil, where really evil's coming back. Well, once you hit a certain point, it's just dark, man. Your darkness is your darkness. And the idea was I'm 50% dark. It's the evil things that lurk within the darkness. It's those things that need to go. So shutting those portals down, going back on the rituals and the children. Eventually, who knows what the Fearless role will play in the future,
right?
Shutting down and keeping things really awesome, right? Because that's what we're coming back online. You're closing things that don't belong open. Every time Aleister Crowley did a ritual, he was bringing something in.
Yes.
My job is to come back, bring all you guys to the moment it's occurring, and drop 30 creator beings inside that situation. Now let's see how you handle it. Because what it does is they've gotten successful rituals from whenever they started this all the way through the now to now. And then we started going back and disrupting it, dropping their power battery. When they look for a piggyback of energy, they could just siphon off of why they're so strong and undefeatable. No, we're going to drain that. And then you're going to it'll appear that you're strong here, but you'll be a paper tiger. We'll be able to just shove you over as a group. Right? Like, you got to take the problem out at its root, or these things are just going to keep coming. Like, if you fight demons, that's cute until you close the portal. Go close the portal. You don't have to fight no more demons. Right? You shut that shit down, or else you're just going to keep fighting demons. It's the war of the gods. Don't get involved with the war. That's what they mean. You'll just be trapped in a program saying good versus evil, dark versus light. No, I'm 50 of both. You know, it's the thing.
I think we all are.
No, well, all creators. Your body is made up of the so-called junk DNA, which is not junk. It's the DNA of the living libraries. It's the all information.
We are the Akash.
Yes, it's us. So they hide it in us because they have to hide us in here, to trap us.
She talks about that too.
Yeah, because this is what
it's all in there.
And we're breaking free.
It's all in here.
Yes, it's all right there.
It is.
Right before I start any talk or anything, I always say, highest self, or ancestors. If anyone wants to come in and teach through me something I might learn even just through talking, because we hit a frequency, there's always something to learn, always something to teach. And it becomes like a giant school lesson as we're just talking about our lives and having a conversation. They seem to, it's just the highest version of us slipping it in.
Yeah.
So catch both of us on knowledge. So we feel like student teachers. And then it goes out to everyone else and resonates in different ways as well in those categories. And it's quite beautiful thing.
It is.
It looks like a symphony, and we're finally learning how to play our instrument.
Yes, we are.
And it's really
all
awesome. So I have a question about your show. How did you and Holly start this?
This is a really funny story.
I jumped out of my seat when I saw this. I jumped out of my chair the first episode. I said, they're doing one together. Holy shit.
Okay, so we had this planned a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks before it even started, because she had to get the drawing together for the, that beautiful picture she did that.
Yes.
I started talking to her when she was posting pictures of the beautiful scenery that she lives around, and the storm that had came through, and I felt so bad because I knew she had animals, and so I started talking to her to see how everything was and everything. Then she started showing me pictures of her chickens. Well, me and her and I, sorry, it's my farmer coming out, got on the conversation of her chickens. Now, I raise chickens too. I lived on a farm when I was younger. We had horses, we had chickens, we had cows, we had pigs, blah, 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 right? And I started telling her a story. And I said, you know, when the mother hen would get off her eggs and take all the babies with her, she would leave 2 or 3 eggs behind sometimes. And if they got too cold, the babies inside would die. And you could tell, like you'd pick it up and put it to your ear, and you would hear them beep, 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 beep inside. And you could hear pecking when you knew they were ready to come out. So I would take the eggs, and I told you I'm a sun bunny. I've been a sun bunny all my life. Lay in the sun and put them on my chest. And they would hatch while I was laying in the sun. Because I didn't want them to die. And I would wait for them to dry off and get all fuzzy and cute, and then give them back to mom. Well, that was one thing that we had started talking about. This was our little, this started everything. And I said, there's no way anybody can talk to you about this unless they've experienced it. And who else would you have a conversation with than somebody else that loves chickens, right? So that's how we hit it off. That was our thing.
That's like super sacred feminine, by the way.
Yeah.
Hatching an egg on your in the sun over your heart.
Yeah.
That's about as motherly as you get in this universe.
I guess.
Right? And it's
now that you say that was my instinct. That's a creator's,
well, sacred feminine. Working, Mother Earth working in conjunction with you, or that part of the energy working through you, and you just opening totally to it, and it happens. Yeah. Right? Like if you build it, they will come, kind of.
Yes.
Situation.
I love that saying. Yes.
Because all right, a bunch of our cats came sick, right? It's like we didn't think Little Bear would make it. And you spend the time, and sometimes they don't make it. It's unfortunate, but say you have a sick cat and you're like, well, he's on his deathbed, then he's going to probably die. But if you start giving them compresses and telling them how much you love them, and you hand feed them, and you brush them and get them clean, and pretend like they're being licked by their mama, and you hold them the right way, and then you give them the medication if they need the medication. You take the time 4 or 5 times a day to rub shit in their eyes that they do not want you putting in their eyes, right? And you got to shove the pill down their throat sometimes, or squirt it. If you take the time to do that, most likely you're going to be a success. But people don't put the time and effort and energy into it because they think right away, man, look at that, man, they're already dead. You're already given up on the whole thing.
I don't think like that.
Oh, the sacred doesn't think like that either, right? We think, no, I can do that. I can help. I think I can help.
Always.
I might know someone that can.
I pull over on the side of the road and put turtles in my truck and bring them to the water out in the front here, because they're going to get hit, and they shouldn't be on the road, and people won't swerve. They just run them right over. And I've taken many turtles home.
Yeah, here they aim for cats crossing the street. If a cat's crossing or a squirrel's crossing, they'll aim to try to gun down and get your animal.
I just had that conversation with my husband, because we have a little road that you have to, a little windy road. There's all lake, and then to get on the highway, you have to go past it. And there's always mother goose, mother swans, all their babies, and they cross from this little padded area where the water is over the road to the other side where the post office is. And we had to stop. I mean, and if one family goes and you're still standing there waiting, both traffic stop, another family comes, you got to wait, because they're so beautiful. You don't want to be running them over. And my husband said, you know how many people would just run that over if there was nobody around, just because they can? Yeah, and I said, if I ever seen anybody, I would chase them, motherfuckers. I would.
Yeah, that bothers me beyond anything. I can't begin to explain. Whereas, that it shows what we're dealing with here, right? Over time, a fake construct is enough for you to believe so deeply in it that you'll kill a baby animal just so you can move within seconds quicker and have no regard for any of this. So
And it's sad.
well, this
Frank,
is why we're
the
here.
the deer around here, full-grown deer, baby deers, plowed down. I mean, these animals are as big as a horse.
I understand accidents and stuff because that kind of stuff happens, but when you purposely try to do that stuff,
That's what my husband said. He said, Laura, you can't avoid it sometimes. And I was like, that's a mother and a baby, 2 in 1, right there.
well, this is how I look at it. If you're there to witness it and observe
Never
the
was.
situation, say you show up and you're the one that sees the ducks crossing the road, then it's up to you because you're
Yes.
there.
Oh, yes.
If you're not there, remember, there's always something or someone there. And
Right.
more responsibility is taken during
Right.
all right. If someone's getting attacked by a dog, I'm a 200-pound man. I can pretty much handle myself too. And I see a woman getting attacked by a dog, and I see 4 people pull out their phones, 2 people try to push people out of the way, but it's really not doing anything. And I'm like, geez, I wish somebody would show up and do something about it, but I know I could kick that fucking thing right down the block and end this right now. Guess what? It's your job probably to do that. If you feel that it's your responsibility to act, then you need to act in that moment.
Yes.
Right? Because more people that act in the moment, less bullshit happens because bullshit just expands into drama and more bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
Sometimes when someone's like, well, I wish you would help, and you're standing there and you see 5 people not helping, and you're like, well, creator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've all failed today.
Yeah.
But it's your free will choice, so no one's going to hold it against you.
Yeah.
But the great I am is beginning to hold it not against you. It's like beating on your awareness. Like, are you aware you're making this choice? Are you aware you're making this choice?
Yeah.
You go, you know what? Someone's got to do something. I had a problem here. A girl was holding a giant pit bull, and she was really small. She had it on a chain, but she couldn't control it, so it was dragging her. She was an older girl too. She was in high school, but a lady came out of the post office with her little dog, and it attacked the dog in the street, and it pulled her into the street, and then she couldn't get the dog off. Now, I was in the pizzeria eating, and the girl that was holding the pit bull had an attitude. She was yelling at everybody, oh, don't touch my fucking dog, and people were screaming. So after the incident, I came outside, and she was standing there with the dog, and I said, you shouldn't hold the fucking dog if you can't fucking hold the dog, period. And I just walked away. She goes, fuck you, asshole. Like, she really, I thought she was going to let the dog off of the leash on me.
Oh my God.
I'm ready for that shit. That's the end of your dog. If you do something like that, we'll go to that length because I got to protect myself. But I love the dogs. I don't want nothing to happen to them. But you're not being a responsible person taking a 100-pound dog out, or 60-pound or whatever that. It was a big dog. It was able to drag her and take her 20 feet in any direction. So be a responsible person.
Yes.
It's nobody else's fault that dog attacked it. That's all you. 100%. And the more people you start to, pass that information to the others, not applying things correctly. And I understand wanting to mind your business because that's how you get killed around here too.
Oh yeah.
Right. So there's this balance that has to be met. I prefer when people are like, oh, you should lock them up and throw away the key, or you should fucking kill them. I go, going back to the old ways, if you fucked up that bad and you lived in my neighborhood and I shame right now, I'm being basic. And then you walk by to the next house and that neighbor comes out and goes, shame. By the time that person gets to the corner, 50, 100 people over here already said shame to you. It's happening. You have all the creators looking, and you could walk around. You don't give a shit all day long. No one's going to serve you at the 24-hour store because we're ashamed. You punched the old lady, and you did your whatever you did wrong. Shame, bro. We don't respect you. So if you're not uplifting yourself, you'll never make that comeback out. I understand some people need to be locked up and the key needs to be thrown away, but they did that to me. And I remember what it was like when it was done to me in that fractal. I remember I talked about this on Chris's show when we were beings like more than we were unlocking. They put me in a cage and put me in a mountainside and closed it. Just see ya.
Really?
And I was like, what? And they were just killing off the ones coming to talk to them about raising the consciousness.
Oh,
So learning from that, I don't want to really take people and put them in cages and hide them under something. Although I
right.
know some are going to get their karma. There's a balance, I guess.
Sure.
The universe will provide the answers to all that as it comes.
Right.
We just can't let our emotions get the best of us. And
Right.
but there are ways to do it, man. You could shut people down. If you're embarrassed to come out of your house, you're not going to come out.
Oh no. And one thing that this group has helped me with is stepping up to the plate and not taking nobody's shit no more.
Yeah, that's taking the responsibility and saying I'm not gonna
No.
take your responsibility on. No
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Because we do
Yeah.
that. We take everybody's dramas.
Yeah.
And we want to help repair everyone's relationships and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, look, man, you could talk to this person. Hey, man, you need to go left all day long until they're ready to go left. They're not going to go. And you're beating yourself over the fucking head. If you go home and have an argument with your spouse because that person outside didn't go left, or the person on the TV show didn't do what you wanted, and if they only did that, that's a fucking drama rabbit hole. Even talking about that makes me gross. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be bothered with any of that because it's all bullshit. It's all nonsense. There's nothing to do with anything, and it's not helping any situation.
No, I don't put up with drama no more. I don't want it around me. I can't. I don't want nothing to do with it. We can sit and talk, but I don't. If you have drama, you can go somewhere else. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing to recognize. Once again, it's awareness, right?
It is awareness.
And that's wonderful. So, the fact that you two girls came out and started doing what you did was so impressive on so many levels. So, eye to eye, heart to heart on YouTube. Just, I guess, type that in. Unless you know the main page. But
it should come. That is it. That's
eye to eye, heart to heart. What episode are you up to?
I think we'll be doing our 5th. I think.
That's great.
Probably the 5th.
So great.
But it's so natural with her. I mean, the first time we ever talked, we talked on the phone. No, we talked on a Zoom chat, but it was after I had the conversation with her on Facebook. We were on here for 5 hours, me and her together on this. Our conversation just flowed. And I said to her, and she almost said at the same time, we should do a show. That's
right. Those conversations become so good that you're like, yo, man, you can't pay to have conversations. You can't pay to watch this on TV or have this done live. And you have to be there in the moment.
Yeah.
So just turn the camera on.
Yep.
We were just chatting and having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, right? We're just pressing record because a bunch of us are having these conversations now. And these conversations are actually the way to teach and show and just be natural and let them flow. Right.
And I made sure the first show that we did, I made sure to say in the show at some point that anything we say today is who we are today. And information changes daily. I'm not stuck on any one thing. I'm open to learning and moving on. So really, the conversation of the day is just where we're at.
That's wonderful.
And I love that.
Absolutely. That's why my show is like a video journal. I kind of don't like to go back and go that deep over stuff. I'm kind of like every time we talk, I'm in this new weird position.
Yeah.
It has to be discussed in the now because in 10 weeks, that ain't going to mean nothing.
Exactly.
It's good. There'll be people coming up through there, but they'll have that information on YouTube to meet them halfway.
Right.
And I can discuss it from here, but I got to keep going and climbing and going and climbing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not like repetitively teaching a class.
Right.
It's like a class in the now of what's happening now. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's now. It just happened. It's now.
Exactly. And it's perfect. And now we're having people come on now. So we had Sam 2 shows ago.
Okay.
And now the next one will be Lena Olson.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's coming on next time.
That's fantastic. So, and just like the FearLess group, everyone's going to start coming out.
Yes. And I want to get eventually everybody, but it's like just chicks sitting, and talking. And I want to have Holly really wants to have Aaron on, so he'll be one of our guests too. I just have to ask him, or she has to ask him.
These perspectives and pieces of the puzzle coming together and being shared. Like you don't have to have Joe Rogan on the show. to
No,
discuss
because
consciousness when I'm the one going through it, you're the one going through it. This is
exactly.
happening now.
Nobody's got to be a movie star, and that's the thing. We're not those people, anyways. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I wouldn't have those people on, anyways. They're all fake.
I wouldn't even know what to talk. Actually, I would know what to ask.
They
them,
wouldn't
but
want to talk to you.
yeah, if they would
Bottom
just be
line.
like, why don't you just talk and I'll just sit here and drone my brain in your direction while you turn
Right?
into mush.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the us,
It
the
is
I am,
us.
the we are.
Yes, that's why she came up with. Oh, hi. How are you? Good. Good. This is Frank.
Hi, Frank.
How you
That's my
doing?
hubby.
Hi, hubby.
My hubby, bubby.
Very nice.
Yeah.
To meet you.
Holly came up with eye to eye, and she started the logo, and it just said eye to eye. And 2 days after, I said to her, Holly, can we put heart to heart in there too? Eye to eye and heart to heart. And it was just so crazy how everything was clicking together with us. Everything we do is part of her, part of me, but it's supposed to be. It's weird.
Yes, it's that infinite. It's the.
It
It's like
is.
the 8, the number 8, and then you
Yes.
just flip it at each other, and it just goes back and forth.
Exactly. And it's just so amazing. And you know what, too? I don't know if you've noticed, but the last, I think 2 or 3 times, maybe if you've noticed, after we have done a show, she sits down and sings this beautiful song with no music and posts it for everybody. That's right after we did a show.
The energy's high. It's really
She
high.
gets, and she keeps telling me that. She said, I just get so energized.
Well, that's what it does to you. You hit
I
that
know, but she
frequency,
like bounce it out in music. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, Holly's a musician. She does voiceover work. She's one of the greatest artists. I mean,
Yeah.
it just goes on and on and on. The amount of
Yeah.
creative influence. We all have this little weird bundle, and it's coming out.
I know.
To see the two of you making it happen, because coming out on by yourself is one big jump, and then creating that is a complete. That's
I
like
know.
that's
And
like
I can't even.
fearless, you know.
I can't. A year ago, I would have said this would have never happened to me.
Yeah, I go back and I remember Chris and him staring at me, and I go, dude, you could have guessed. You could have handed me a sheet and said, just take 10 years, 15 years, and just guess at what's going on. Write your answers down. Just
I
jot
know.
them in. I would
I
have
know.
never, ever, ever got this.
A million years.
I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? And then it started making sense. I check myself every day and I go, it's almost like a psychedelic experience within itself, where I'm like, oh man, whose idea was this? And then I hear, well, it was your idea. It was, you had one idea. Everyone had their idea, but you kind of,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, but then, I bend my knees and I get weak in the stomach and I'm like, oh, this is so weird, so trippy. We're in the upside down, the mirrored world, but we have free will. It's bizarro land. And then whoop, it makes sense again.
Yes.
Of course they sent me because I can make sense of like, it just becomes that pillar of light again.
Yes.
Instead of the scramble. But my brain does it every once in a while. It just drops like, oh, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I go under and I see reptilians and their dark rituals and people doing the dark rituals, as it starts coming out in the news, the pedophilia, you hear about it and you're like, well, I've seen way worse. It's just even the gnosis of it makes it the worst thing ever. It's so surprising. Again, this person too, or that person's been doing some shady shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we knew this was going to happen. It's like, yeah, but my human suit isn't prepared for that. Even though you were preparing me the whole time, I still get weak in the knees and nauseous and want to throw someone in jail and throw them a beating in the street in front of everyone. And I want to rescue children and rescue animals, So we're in this weird toss around.
I know. I feel the same way, but if there's anything that I can do in my power, I'll do it. But then at the same time,
Everyone's
it's so big. It's bigger than we are.
Yes, it's so big, and we're all necessary. Like someone would say, well, do you save children? And I go, well, I don't know. Check this out. There's a guy in a computer trying to hack people that they think are got the children. You got a guy with binoculars looking from there. You have dudes working on computers somewhere else. You got a guy on the phone calling someone else over there. Then you have dudes with guns going into the house trying to find the people that are doing it, rescuing the kids, right? Well, what are they doing on the other side? They're putting up rituals and walls so that can't be seen. And
Yes.
I'm going in there from up in that direction and I'm just smashing it. Right? Why? Because I'm here and I have gnosis that that's going on and I can see
Yes.
that.
Right.
So I take my position there in that layer.
Yes.
Whereas everyone is in one of the layers.
Yes.
Their part.
Yes.
That's the only way this is all going to work in the favor of making it all right for everyone again. Is to play their part in the layer. It would be like cutting a hole in a giant book, right? And then you put yourself in the giant hole, and it's like, well, what page are you on?
Oh yeah.
Right? That's the page
that
you're on. That's what you're in. You're like, well, what's happening now? It's like, what does it say? What do you see? What is right? And that's where you're going to influence that situation. So whether it's a ritual or whether it's yoga class, it's Tony Robbins or it's reptilians.
Yes.
You have a place in this, and where you're at is the place you're supposed to be at this time. So you're never in the wrong place. And if you are, no,
you're never in the wrong place. You're right.
You'll have like a spider. My spider sense is tingling. I'm not supposed to be here. That's when you know you're in the wrong place.
Yes, the gut instinct.
Or you know you shouldn't be out doing something stupid at that time in that place, but you went and did it anyway. It's like, why'd you do that? It's like, well, you knew better. You always do know better.
And how many times have you said to yourself after, I knew I shouldn't have did that,
and you do it,
and I did it.
Yeah, me too. And I've learned to stop doing that shit.
Yeah, me too.
I submitted to myself and said, okay, I want to hear you, man. I want to hear the big guy. And anytime other voice, even if it was masked as my own, I'm like, I don't talk like that, or that doesn't sound like something I would say. And they don't contact, I'm not contacted in that context. Like no one ever tells me what to do. They never go, you better do this. If I hear that, I know right away that's not me. So once again, awareness. So I'm like, that's, do I want to go left?
Holy cow.
One line of cocaine won't be so bad.
Oh.
Do it. You should do it. No. You need to get out of here.
Yeah.
One line just leads to another. This is just example. And then, one chip. You can't just have one chip, right? One chip. Eat the
I love
bag,
chips, so let's not go there. I know,
I do too. I just found out. I knew, but it's really bad now. Naturally, the Doritos I eat.
Oh, those are bad.
Yeah, Cool Ranch. I don't eat a lot. When I have chips, that's what I have. And now I already knew this. I got rid of everything else, but I want my fucking Doritos. So,
but you know what? If you don't think it's gonna hurt you, then it won't.
Well, Aaron,
mind over matter,
and Paula have So they're like, if you're gonna eat, like Aaron ate. Oh, he talks about eating a lot of ice cream. So he was like, yo, give me that GMO ice cream. Like he was aware of it. And he goes, I'm going to fucking eat this. And I'm going to be so fucking happy right now. So I go, have as much as you want. And he ate the whole thing. And he didn't even look like he was phased. He was ready for more. And I go, how did you do that? He's like, I don't always eat ice cream like this. I don't always eat shit. But if I know I'm going to, I'm going to fucking enjoy it. If this is going to be an enjoyable thing, I'm going to enjoy it.
It's true.
Where, like to me, if I ate like that, I can do that on small scales, but if I ate that much, I'd be in the bathroom the whole time.
You puke,
I'm thinking to myself though already, well, if you eat this, you're gonna shit your brain out.
There you go.
If I'm sitting here and I'm just like, you know what, I want a fucking scoop of it, and I'm gonna eat it. It was delicious. I had a good time. I had the cookie and the coffee, a little bit of sugar. I'm good now. If I was blasting myself all day with that, it'd be different.
Yeah.
When you own it, like if I have a slice of pizza, I have to own it.
Exactly.
If not, gout toe shows up all out of nowhere 2 days later.
No kidding.
Where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah.
I eat it and go, oh, I love this fucking pizza.
I know.
Doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
But if you eat now, if I had pizza 3 days in a row, no matter how much I'm owning it, it's going to fuck me up. So you have to know the balance.
Moderation. I tell everybody, look, if you like McDonald's, I don't eat McDonald's or Burger King. I can't do it. But if you like it, go once in a while.
Yeah, own it. And
everything in moderation is not going to hurt you. But if you're doing it every fucking day, you're going to be 300 pounds by the end of the month.
I couldn't not smoke cigarettes, and then I gave up cigarettes over 2 years now. And just recently, my body's craving tobacco, but not the nicotine.
Right.
Right. So like this has just flavor in it. And then I started rolling straight tobacco. I know this is weird, but it's clean and clear of anything.
No, I would rather do
Tobacco.
that. I smoke too.
But I just half a clip once a day, maybe. I mean, that's like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like just grateful. Greetings, tobacco. Thanks for being here. And this spiritual thing happens.
Yeah.
And then I don't crave it.
Exactly.
Right. I know, like, oh, I'm going to go outside and do this right now. And then it's done and I'm good.
Yeah.
But I used to stress. I want another one, though. But I want another one. I had to kill that guy, that part of the ego.
Yeah.
Take him out with the arrow in the face.
Yeah.
And then say, no, but I can. My doctor would even tell me this. If you're going to shake and shit yourself, just have a fucking cigarette and stop it. Just don't have another one. Have one a week later. But I used to want it. And then it separated a little. And I got a little space from it. And I said, oh, I could handle my business. And then you realize you can actually do whatever you want, just in tasteful moderation.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's wonderful.
I switched to organic cigarettes. I don't feel so bad about it now.
I had to stop. I don't know. Aya and me would talk about it every time I was under.
Well, and maybe when I do Aya, I'll end up stopping, but I kind of enjoy it.
No, there are people that could smoke for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And just nothing.
I know. But I made a healthier choice, but I am looking for real tobacco leaves to do my own that have nothing in them. It's expensive, but
it's worth it. You're not even going to smoke as much as you would.
Right.
Because you notice it's the nicotine making you smoke.
It's the and these are organic, and I don't know really what that means. If it means that there's no pesticides on the plant, or like I'm really not sure. Yeah. But like I said, mind over matter. I will quit one day, but I enjoy smoking.
See, own it. If you're going to do it, just own it.
Exactly. And I sat here with you for how long, and I haven't had one, so I'm not greening.
I smoked a joint. I've been hitting my vape.
I would do that too, but my son wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. A joint now and then. For me, it's become my medicine. I didn't overcome it. I don't actually. The injury's still there. I have 5 bulging discs, 2 pinched nerves. You see me sitting here, I'm kind of like, I can feel where it is, but all of this practice and all of the meditation and all the repairing and fixing, I don't really know what's going on in there at this point. I haven't been to a doctor in five years.
Wow.
Like they were seeing me. Now it's the courts are fighting. Your lawyer versus their lawyer. So
of course.
I don't get to go to the fucking doctor, right? So they're like, here, we were pumping you full of pain medication and giving you pain pills, and then you're out of them, and now you're not going to the doctors anymore because you can't go until this is all figured out. And now we're on 5 years. So what was I supposed to do? Just keep suffering?
Exactly. But you're not doing the pain pills anymore, are you?
I haven't touched the pain pills since before they stopped seeing me.
Yeah.
Years into when I was going
what
to
did they have
therapy.
You on? Which ones?
I was taking Percocets and Vicodins like crazy.
Oh my God.
I had 12 spinal epidurals in 1 year. And I'm like, I can't have 12 in 1 year. This is crazy. This stuff breaks down your spine and stuff. Anyway, so just through what we're doing, overcoming it and rebuilding, and who knows what it's going to look like in there. I had injuries to the left side of my head and then had a scan, and all the injury was gone. Right? I had a concussive injury from playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
Getting punched in the head. The doctor was like, don't get hit there no more. You're really messing it up. And then when I finally went back and had them take a look, there was nothing there, no scarring. And he was like, what the fuck?
That's awesome. But I'm thinking that when people are, they have injuries like yours, and they get on these drugs that they're taking, they get addicted so badly that they end up going to the next street drug, and then the next drug, and then we just had a good friend of ours die 2 years ago. Young family, 2 little boys, because he was in such pain. They stopped. They wouldn't give him any more of the drugs that he was on. So he was going to Detroit to shoot it up, and they ended up finding him dead.
Well, that's what the system wants, and it's created for us to fail. So we fall into pit holes, and I hold no one at fault. because of the situation at hand, but it does need to stop.
It does.
You know, you have to go to the root and source of these issues and problems,
Yeah.
and you have to solve them at that level and every
Yes.
level back down to baseline.
Yes.
As you're repairing and going, it'll all
Yes.
heal itself. That's the big thing, because I know how to do some things. I don't know how to do other things.
Yeah.
I'm a voice of certain things, and other things, believe me, you do not want me speaking about. Right? So, you know,
Yeah,
it
me
works
too.
both sides. You know? So
It's funny.
yeah, it's so interesting. But all right, so I want to thank you so much for
Thank you.
not only being part of this, because this is kind of going to be kind of more of our coming out as like we're doing. I thought it would be excellent, my restarting the podcast, doing it with you, who was the first to jump back at me, you know, through the FearLess group. So I
Yep.
think it's just awesome, because more people will see this. This isn't just going
Yeah.
up in the group, it's going up everywhere. So
Awesome.
yeah, and you're awesome, and I appreciate you for being there, and I'm so happy that you're going through the process and going through everything you went through and sharing that with us. And that stuff's hard to share.
But when you find the answers and you're good with it, I think that it's a good teaching tool too.
Yeah, it's absolutely, because you know what? It's happening to everyone, not just us. We
Exactly.
only feel it because it's our own universe. But
Exactly.
it's happening. Everyone's got something going on,
Exactly.
right? And it's psychotic to a degree. We could at
Yeah.
any time lose it inside of this place, and that's what it wants.
And
we're not-
that's who I am. Like those things make you who you are.
Yes, I wear
So
my
if you want
scars
to
as a
know who I
privilege
am,
badge.
you have to know my past. You have to know.
It's important. It resonates outward. It teaches others. It helps others step up and go, you know what? Maybe I can do this too. You know, because
Yep.
it's happening to everyone. There is no one left behind in this. And I say that all the time. It's just you're going at your pace,
Yes.
right? That's why I like to call us the advanced class, the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I help newbies get into the deep end.
Yes.
Right. So when they're like, oh, but Earth's fine, I'm like, yeah, come swim with me over here for 5 minutes. No, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to wear floaties, and you dive to the bottom by holding a rock and then letting it drag you by your head to the bottom. But then we just
Yep.
come up.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we're doing little scuba tests to see how deep this goes. Right?
Absolutely.
And then it's out. You realize the pool is us.
Yep.
And we're just filling the pool with these light beings, and we're like, holy shit. You know, if everybody's light activates, there's no darkness in between us, because I emanate to you, you emanate to whatever side in a circular, and we all kind of get together, and there's just no room for the bullshit.
It's true.
So
It's true.
yeah, and I'm just really happy you're out there. I'm gonna have you back
Thank
on
you.
with Holly, and
Yes.
we'll discuss. We'll have a talk about the show.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm so excited. I haven't had a chance since Holly was working with us to get her on anything, because the show 1 hour is not enough. It's not enough of a show.
I know.
On, because by the time the show's over, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful you're here for these conversations. I'm glad you're out there learning and teaching and learning and sharing those experiences. It's
and I'm
amazing.
grateful that you're there, because if it wasn't for you and everybody there and Paula, and I don't know where I would be.
I'm glad we.
But all I kept saying is I'm 50 some years old. I'm in my fall of my life, and I'm going to die not knowing anything. But I know something now.
Yeah,
Might be a little bit.
We all get there right on time when we need to be, right?
Yeah.
Right when we think there's nothing left, it opens the next door. Don't have doors close on you. Don't just open them all. Open them all.
And I don't want to die with the music still inside me.
Yeah, you need to be here to play that note, or this doesn't work. Remember, all of us need to play our note.
Yes.
Or there's not a symphony. Right? We need every instrument, or you're lacking, and we're not made of lack.
Right?
We're made of everything outside of lack, opposite. Right? There's
very
fear
true.
And there's love. We come from
there
love.
Is.
That's it.
There is.
You know? Absolutely. Thank you so much, Loreen Jennings.
Love you,
Eye
Frank.
to eye, heart to heart. Check it out on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, fearless woman, awesome, sacred feminine.
Thank you.
And we'll bring you back soon. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Frank. Love you. Bye.
Love you too.